calendar pages are starting to turn. A special month for which we both yearn. It's not just a day, it's a 30-day spree. A Filipino birthday for George and for Heidi. Heidi says, honey, just a small, simple affair. George just nods, pulling out is good but wrong, what a pair. Cause a simple party in the Philippines, you see, means the whole barangay is coming for free. Happy birthday month to George and to Heidi. From the streets of Manila to Angeles City, it's a party. Heidi's cooking treats and making plans. George is testing the mic. It's a whole month of chaos in the land of Philippine antics life. Happy birthday, George and Heidi. Happy birthday to you. So grab a red horse and plate of spaghetti. So sweet, a Filipino-American birthday that can't be planned and starts early with the family debate. Who's making the lumpia? Don't be late. Tita Charo's bringing her famous leche flan, while Uncle Bob's in charge of the adobo pan. Heidi's in the kitchen a little bit stressed. George just chuckles.
Honey, don't you worry, my dear.
In the Philippines, leftovers is a word you'll never hear. Happy birthday month to George and to Heidi. From the streets of Manila to Angeles City, it's a party. Heidi's cooking treats and making plans. George is testing the mic. It's a whole month of chaos in the land of Philippine antiques.
It's not my fault.
I didn't say that.
How did it seem like tilting it down? I guess I wanted them to, so they could see your dirty bone water there.
Oh, is that what it is?
I don't know how you feeling.
Not really good. So I have my oxygen right here.
It's because you're old, dude. Well, drink it up. Nobody could see that. Your water's a little dirty there. So George got extra lazy here and thought he would wear his glasses. So well, you know what you really need is a piece of tape on top of that, probably, to hold it in. Are there, you leaking, George? Well, if you let it go and open your mouth, it'll all go away. There you go.
No, I think I need an upgrade.
I think I need an upgrade. What the hell are you talking about? You got me on the right day. You got me on Lupus Thursday.
No, I need a beer helmet.
Well, get out there and make more content. Maybe if you did some of that poverty corn like some of the others, you'd make a crap load of money. Not really. We could probably interview Duterte himself and still not make the money. Never meant to have any money. Anyways, good morning, everybody. I feel like I'm still here in my PJs situation. And
Hey, my dirty bong water matches the mic and your outfit.
I know it does, doesn't it? Here, hold it up so they can see your... There it is. So George is enjoying his dirty bong water. Today we will cover a topic of basically how painful it can be to move to a foreign country and the things that people are not expecting. See, I got absolutely nothing because it's all from the top of my head because the bitching that I do today is real. Okay, nothing scripted about this. But in a nutshell, somewhere in the truth is pain and pain is the truth. And then you guys hit reality and reality is your truth. And it's kind of goes all the way around. And I was thinking about that and talking with George about that last night. And I'm like, this is a lesson that some people never learn. It's like a lesson in humility and it's a lesson all the way around. And some people are still here in denial. Oh, my life is good and this is going on. I've only got X amount of money and things are going totally down the crapper or things are going totally good with them. But I think till you hit some point of your life where you've learned a lot of these lessons. Like I think about when I was in my early 20s and my 30s, and I don't think I hit that spot in my life yet. And it's like, I wish I would have learned some of these early on. Some people never learn it at all. It's not that they don't have to. George never learned it at all. Nothing ever happens to George. I don't know how. At least he doesn't let you know that it does. So that's where we're just kind of going to be, is talking about expat life here, things that could go wrong, talk about different things, answer questions about everything from A to Z, open live for people to ask questions, and just run this live. Still doing our birthday month. George's birthday is the first one coming up in a few days. And we've been out doing different things and going shopping and out to eat and all that. And I don't know, I might do an actual, I don't know about doing 3 cakes each week, but check it out. There is the new cake. Okay, so basically we cut George a big piece. It's got mango on top. I call it the ugly cake. The ugly truth is the house ran out of sugar yesterday. Okay. And that's dried mangoes in the top. Now the truth is the house ran out of sugar, and I put something special in there.
Huh?
Take a look at it again. There's a couple mystery items in it. Okay, I call it the ugly cake. I've tasted it. I think it's okay. So you've got, what's wrong?
I'm gonna try the cake.
Oh, you need, I guess you probably need a real straw for that. Here, put it in here. Put your, crap. Yeah, you can get a regular straw.
That was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah. Still need a beer helmet though.
There's your big fat straw to finish your.
There it is.
You're not getting a beer.
All right. Well, I don't even know they exist here.
Oh yes, everything exists here, including trouble like you. No, not look it up. Try the cake and tell me what the mystery item is.
Priorities, lady. Cake.
Eat the cake.
Huh?
And then tell me what the brown ingredient is.
Shoot.
Miss Millie made you something nice and special.
Oh, I saw Queenie this morning.
Get on with it. What's in that, George? Name 3 ingredients. And I'll tug and tug and tug some more. I might even use my lips in the afternoon.
Not you. I can't dissect food like you do. What's in it?
Well, is it sweet enough?
It's sweet. Is it peach? Peach mango?
Not close.
Is peach mango?
Close enough.
Okay.
I had no sugar.
Huh?
We don't have any peaches and mangoes in the house.
What would you use?
Why don't you guys guess, and I'll tell you later what's in there. Let me know if you got to go to the bathroom.
Oh my gosh. Anyway.
Hey, Chio's in the house. Slick Rick is in the house, and of course Ted is in the house. Let you guys take another look and tell me what's in it. And we don't have any more pumpkin in the house either. And the brown is real. And B is in the house.
A and B.
What's going on? I was going to cover a few things. I was wanting to cover that.
Kate Dallas, you covered up.
Hey, give me a minute.
Kate Dallas. No, Kate Dallas.
What's going on? Drink your drink. You're funnier when you've had a drink.
What?
Okay, Dallas is in the house.
Okay, to clarify, I don't try to be funny.
You got that right, too.
That's the point. I don't.
Hi, Ted.
Unless you're one of my real close
Yes.
friends, then we
How did the appointment go?
do back and forth on jokes, kind of like what's the favorite curse words of Indian people?
Which is?
Well, that's the thing. Well, my friends, close friends, are Filipinos, obviously. But some of you may or may not understand.
Oh, just get to it. How do you know you're at a gay barbecue?
What?
How do you know you're at a gay barbecue? Hey, I'm just following what the internet said yesterday. What I said.
Something about the hot dogs have crap on them.
Yeah, the hot dogs taste like shit.
Yeah.
That was the last thing that rolled on Instagram. So, and weirdly, they're like, well, that could be what you're watching. No, I get all kinds of stuff on my Instagram. No, that was funny.
Okay.
What's the difference between Jesus hanging and his picture hanging on the wall?
Huh?
What's the difference between Jesus hanging on the cross back in the day and Jesus hanging his photo hanging up on my bedroom wall?
Okay, that's
What's the difference between him back then and my photo hanging up on the wall?
what's the difference?
The photo in my bedroom only took one nail.
No, I mean,
Thank you, Instagram. Ta-ta-ta. Now I'm funny.
don't stop there. Keep going.
I can't think of any.
I mean,
I can't think of any. There were some other ones, but that was the ones that stuck to my head. There's some other ones that got really racy, but them were bad
oh,
enough.
so those were
Not compared to the ones
What?
not compared to the ones that I heard.
Okay.
No, the other ones were dealing specifically in color and race, so them were just a little controversial.
Oh, like anti-Semitism and what do you call it?
The gay barbecue,
LGBTQ.
is not racist.
It's not. It's anti-LGBTQ. I said.
It ain't anti. They know they taste like shit at that barbecue. Truth is truth. Truth hurts.
Jesus Christ.
Put them hot dogs down, boy.
Wow.
When they're frozen, they have a lot of wonderful uses. All right, so we're going nowhere here, and I'm the one without a drink. Da-da-da, Magadanu Maga, good morning.
What was that? Is that your?
You lucky I'm even here this morning. I ran out of time. Yes, I'm already running out of time. What's wrong? You don't like your cake? Or are you still wondering
No, I'm
about
not
the
gonna
mystery?
eat it 'cause you
the
said
mystery meat.
You're kind of weird on the mystery thing. So I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah, that's that soy flake stuff. I put soy in that.
Is that what it is?
Yes, yes.
That's not what makes it making it sweet. But anyway.
All right. Ta-ta-ta. Hey, what's going on? Slick Rick is saying, hey, good morning, Geo. Good morning. Good morning, Angelo. Let us know what's going on. Tony went straight for there. No, why would my discharge be brown, dingus? Maybe something from the cat box. Discharge, huh?
No.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe so, after I shave my armpits, I drop the shavings in there.
Oh yeah.
Da-da-da-da.
So anyway, I went to one of these SAR stores. This is somewhat interesting for some of you. I went to one. You guys ever heard of okay, right? Meaning used clothing. So I went to one of these SAR stores, and
For him, not for me.
it was selling okay, which again is normal. But when I started looking at these okay, aka used clothing, they were in great condition. I was like, okay. And then I looked at the tags. I mean, the tags are, like Levi's jeans, Lee jeans, so they're brand name. And I was like, huh. And then I kept looking, and then there's a tag, and it says Goodwill. And I'm like, oh my gosh, these are used clothing from the U.S.
Yes.
And then,
of course.
And then I
They
asked,
said they
how much
come
are
in
these?
large bundles and they
Yeah.
buy them up here.
And
Like
then-
they sell them on Facebook. You haven't
Well,
seen where they sell
I'm aware
them?
of that. I'm just telling people. And then I asked, how much are these? And they said, any pants you find there, it's 250 pesos. I'm like, huh, $5. No, I was just saying, it's a good deal.
Yeah, if you're Filipino sized, most expats, even normal size, a lot of the clothes I get they're from the U.S., but they usually tend to get the smaller sizes.
Well, I wouldn't know. I mean, I didn't really look. I looked, but I didn't look, if that makes any sense. I wasn't really shopping for jeans. I just went over there to buy a Coke, you know? But anyway,
Yeah,
soda.
I've been hearing this past week. They're saying the U.S. jets are. He's here in Angel City. Yeah, I've been hearing them. So, but I thought they were. I didn't know they were from U.S.
Oh, well, it
So,
depends on, yeah.
yeah, there's been a lot of activity. So, going on.
I forgot, where you at, Coconut Guy? Sorry,
He's here.
I know that here. Well, where?
Angel City. I mean, pinpointed. I don't know.
Okay, the reason why I asked, because depending on where he's at, that determines where the jets are from. There's more. I mean, I get it. The Air Force base is right here, but if he's further to the border, it's possible the jets are coming from the other side, which is like, point being, there's several.
Yeah, where? If he's in Angel City, where's the border and where's the other place where he wouldn't hear the jets from the
That's what I'm
airports over here?
saying. If he's in, depends on Angel. Angel City's huge. You know that, right? And
I got that.
And Clark Air Base goes all the way to Tarlac. You know that, right?
It probably takes about a whole 2 minutes to fly over the whole
Right.
thing.
And I don't know all the bases here, but there's a lot of bases here. Clark is not the only base. I'm not well versed with Filipino bases. I know Clark Air Base because it's right there. I don't know what your problem is.
There is no problem. There is none.
He could be further north, which means they're not going to be coming from the Clark Air Base. They're from the bases up north.
Which are?
I don't know. I just clearly stated I don't know the bases. Because I'm not... Okay, am I a military guy? Yeah, but I don't care where the bases are unless it's actually nearby. Even in the U.S. Unless it's, Air 51 or crap. I don't know where the bases are. Unless I know where they are, literally, because I drive by them.
Gotcha.
I mean, are there airports by Subic? Yes. We don't know where... Anyway, I don't know what your problem is.
There is no problem, and you're not going to get a problem from me. I'm going to avoid that as much as possible.
You're going to avoid it. You're the one who attacked me because I asked Coconut Guy where he's at specifically.
Please, Coconut Guy, answer specifically where you heard the jets today, and did you hear any earlier in the week, and where they're coming from, and what side of town. Let us know your barangay and your pinpoint place.
And that's another thing. We're here. I haven't seen these jets.
Okay.
So what I'm saying, it's possible he's seeing him from somewhere else.
Okay.
I haven't seen him personally. Have you?
Let us know. Shout out from Brampton, Ontario, Canada. What's going
Black
on? The drink is too much. Hi from Queens, New York. Comedy and jokes are good. What's going on? From the other side, the dark side, the far side. What is going on? What is going on? So, I guess we could get into the conversation about moving abroad and the things that can go down here. I think the most recent thing I keep seeing over and over again on the expat forums, and it's going on with us, is bank issues. They've been going on. And there's been a couple of people that have been saying their credit cards aren't working, their banking apps aren't working. I know several, and we have 2 different banks, and they're both working on their systems, Metro and PNB. And so right now, for some odd reason, the credit card tied to our biggest account isn't working on anything. We can get money out of the bank. So banking here can be very frustrating. And like right now, we're trying to get a hold of the bank. There's an 800 number that's not working. And then when we manually call them in, the cell phones that we have, we're actually having to pay by the minute situation because they're in Manila. And so it's just been frustrating all the way around. And I spent 15, 20 minutes holding online and then got dumped again. And so George went manually to the bank and they gave him papers to fill out. And then we filled them out, giving him specific times that the card declined in multiple places. And he had to take it back. And I said, we're probably looking at 2 weeks for them to respond on a card not working. So in the meantime, we have payments coming out and these items are rejecting. So we've just been having a hard time with the banking overall. So banking is definitely going to be a problem.
Okay, the banking issue. It's actually bigger than you realized. I'm not quite sure how deep we want to go into the banking thing.
Well, we're kind of sitting on.
All right, the banking thing. First off,
I mean, it's a pain in the ass.
Let's go with the simple stuff. First off, if you don't have a Philippine bank, obviously you have to alert your bank that you're going to be in a different country. You know, first off, it doesn't matter what country you're in. If once you leave the U.S., you're going to say, hey, I'm leaving the country. Don't shut off my bank card, please. You know,
yeah, a lot of people
remember that. Second, depending on the bank. Okay, again, for example, okay, Wells Fargo. Again, I'm not trying to sell Wells Fargo. First off, I don't have my Wells Fargo account anymore because I don't need it anymore. But point being, when I did have my Wells Fargo account, we never had any problems ever. And what I'm getting at is, for example, in one of the bank accounts we have, that like we call ahead, you know, like, hey, just so you guys know, we're still in the Philippines, and please don't shut down our bank card. Now, this is something you'll probably hear. I said probably because we've heard it more than once on different banks. We need a decline first before we can reactivate it and have it run for 6 more months. So what I'm saying is, be aware that certain banks will tell you, well, we need to decline first, you know, because that way we can pinpoint, you know, the issue and then solve it. So remember that. Not every bank's the same. Also,
oh, he says he's inside of Clark.
there's another issue that a lot of vloggers don't talk about. Now, the issue is when, what do you call it? When you have your account direct deposited, aka your Social Security, your pensions, all that kind of weird stuff. Be aware there might be an issue with it if you move. What I'm getting at is, for example, like I have a bank account. I can travel anywhere in the U.S., in the Philippines, probably in the U.S. too, and my bank card will work. No problem, no issues. What I'm getting at is, if you have your pensions or your Social Security direct deposited into an account, you're pretty much stuck on that particular bank. Probably, I said probably. Oh, there's a high probability that you're stuck with that bank specifically. Meaning, if you travel around the Philippines, can you use your bank card? Yes. But can you take the money from your deposited account from Social Security? No. Again, I'm not saying all banks, because first off, we don't know, or I mean, first off, you can only have one Social Security, right? And you can't deposit in multiple banks at the same time. So what I'm saying is, from our experience, you can only access that money from that account from that particular bank that you approached specifically. If that makes any sense. Yeah, I'm just
Yeah, a lot of people lose access to their money. That seems to be, if I keep going through all these stories and people that we've talked to in the last 4 years that I've been in the country, I would say a lot of these stem from some of the big ones that these other vloggers have interviewed, and then people here in Angel City, when they go down the drain, part of it's because they lose access to their money. That or their lady gyps them out of stuff, or they get kicked out, or they party too much. But it is the banking thing is one of the biggest things that people do not get straight, or the residual incomes. Like they come here and they've only got X amount of savings, but the losing access by card, by transfer, and I'm not even going to pretend to know what this new deal is up and coming where they're going to take a percentage in tax for the remittances, because a lot of people are relying on having their accounts back in the US. They've got it tied to a family member's house or something, and they're having the money, they wire it to themselves every month, and they're paying X amount or something. And even a wire from bank to bank costs X amount. Finally, we just took and got the accounts here. So Security's deposited, and I have an account, and then he has two accounts. He's got one at Metro and PNB himself. So we're pretty much covered where this won't happen, but then something like the inside banking's happened. So the account where most of the bills are coming out now, all of a sudden the card just stopped working. And it's just not one, it's all of them. They see it's clear and I can go get the money, but that's not going to help me pay the bills that are coming through online. It's not going to help me. Then you'd have to manually take it out and go put it in on Gcash. There's so many different things, but the worst thing that I found here is all the customer service crap. Like, I mean, I can't believe they're literally like the numbers aren't the same as they are like in the US or Canada, where it's flat out a 1-800. It's some weird number that's way too many digits. And I've tried it time and time again. We have a landline. It won't work on the landline. We have two different cell phone companies. It won't go through. And the only way to do it is to add extra money to talk to them. And then it's nothing direct. I can't get a balance. I can't get nothing. So I finally opened up the app. The money is all there. I'm like, well, maybe something like a triple payment on the electric came out or something. No, the money's there. So now it's a waiting game, or just go, like we have to go and get the money. But it's one of those frustrating things. And it's just one of those things that people, the money matters is real here. And also when people run out of money, it's a matter of, how are they going to get money again? And then people don't count that what visa they're on, whether they're supposed to get a work permit. Some do it anyways. They're not enforcing anything else. So people are like, hey, then I'll just get a job online, or I'll just go that homeless guy that we were talking about the other day. At one point, he was working at a call center, and he said he did have a work permit. Then he didn't have a work permit. And then he was just randomly selling stuff on the street. And I get people are going to hustle and get money any which way that they actually can. But yeah, so I did not make a list on, any of this. So just randomly, we're going to talk about different things. So, but
Yeah. Now, keep in mind again that some of you may or may not have any issues. Oh, and also, by the way, no, I have 3 accounts, except that my stupid card still isn't coming.
that's another thing. We're both supposed to get bank cards. We're sitting on temporary bank cards, and how long's yours been? 2 months?
3 months.
Okay, 3 months. He hasn't gotten his actual permanent card
These
yet.
are real banks. These are actual major banks.
Yeah.
These are not
Philippine National Bank is.
These are not your Mickey Mouse banks of like, I'm not going to mention any name, but point being is, no, they're major banks. Which again, I'm going to go to the bank after this because I'm not too happy with what's going on with our certain bank accounts. Because again, I'm not actually complaining.
There's just a lot of truths here in the Philippines.
And now,
I think people should emphasize, they're always like, oh, all you guys do is talk about negative and bitch and complain.
Well, that's
you're definitely going to hear
you
from
don't
me.
See it.
No,
we're not bitching as in bitching.
Oh,
we're
I'm
bitching.
Going to be,
well, okay, again, I'm saying we're not bitching because we're bitching. We're bitching because we're letting you know, hey, things are not like perfect here. And like I said,
it's like doing
for
overtime.
example, when Heidi is talking
Extra
about like
homework.
the customer service lines, I'm gonna tell you right now, 100%, do not call the customer service lines outside business hours. You will never get a hold of anybody. They shut down after business hours.
Here's the thing: we shouldn't have to pay $10 worth of calls to sit online and talk with someone, and we're not going to get anything resolved. So literally, we have to like put extra on our cell phones, and we've got a home line. It just won't go through. It'll go through to a local place, but I don't know. Just the whole thing can be frustrating. When it
No,
comes
it's
to
frustrating,
banking,
and
even for the Filipinos.
no, it is, and no, it is. For example, again, I'm Filipino, and it doesn't matter whether you're Filipino or not. Point being is, I'm waiting like 3 months for my debit card, and I'm like, what's the point in opening a bank account? What I'm saying is, it's more that bank account is more of a like an overflow account. Like, if there's money that I'm not gonna spend, that's where it's gonna go. That way, I don't have to carry the freaking bank card in my pocket, and if I get robbed, I know they're only gonna get whatever I have on the overflow account, which is nothing. Point being is, there's a reason why I wanted that account, and point being is, if that was my main account, I opened that account just for my main account, then I'm screwed because I'm still waiting on a bank account that I can't use. Get it? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why I'm not rushing them or upset is because it's just like a meh account. But if it was my main account, that's an issue. Or if it was Heidi's main account, that's an issue.
Well, actually, it is, because right now that's where all the money is for the main bills.
I'm talking about my card that doesn't have the card.
And I'm just saying, for me, it is.
I know that, and I said I'm going to the bank today. What I'm saying is, I was going to go to the bank anyway, no matter what.
Okay. And right, but honest truth is that I get people say, "Oh, well, you're not in America no more. You're not in Canada no more, so things aren't the same." When these issues happen, if you went into your main banker in the U.S., they would at least see there's a block or this and that. And if there's something going on with your main credit card, they may say, "Hey, you have to talk to them because there's a hold on there." At least they give you an idea. Here they won't. Here they just actually won't. So the deal is going into the bank itself. Probably, I think the reason they took that paperwork is they're going to manually enter it or call themselves to see something, and it's going to take 2 weeks just to get it resolved. So the only way probably to get it resolved is to get back on the phone and lose $10 more of money. So then we'll be out $20 just for making calls. And it's got to be something stupid, because the card's been working for a few months, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. So we thought it was tied into something else, but banking will become a problem. And then, of course, all the basics for those that are coming here, or, a lot of our people are the same people that are watching. They're looking for information. And I know we go through the same things, but there are new people in here. There are people who do the rewatch and everything else. But the deal is banking becomes one of the major issues. And then we've had our card stopped in the U.S. There were times when my card was no good for Social Security to that account. We had to have it shipped. Then we had X amount of savings. We've had family members help here that helped us out during that time. And so it just gets to be a bummer. And Gio has said before, Gio's in the house, he said that you have to have multiple, like connections to your money. And we do, and it's still a problem.
Well, that's another thing. For example, one of our bank accounts, now, first off, again, we have multiple bank accounts, and they're not all in the same bank. Yeah, don't make sure you have multiple bank accounts.
Yeah,
on different
you want
banks.
access at different levels.
The reason being is, for example, last week.
Well, or at least the digital wallet. Like, we have access to the PayPal, we have access to Gcash. So much is in.
Well,
Gcash,
yeah, make
so
sure you
much
have money in different places. Because, for example, last weekend specifically, one of our bank accounts did a server maintenance. You know what that means? It means your bank card is dead for the weekend.
Not always. Some
Keep-
of them just do part of
Well,
it, like
yeah,
it's
no, I
just you
know.
can't do any transfers of money. But the one we couldn't do anything. Like the card didn't work, no
No,
transfers,
because
no
it was
nothing.
doing a server maintenance, and no, if you're out on a date and you're gonna pay your bill, you can't pay it unless you have cash. That's another thing I was gonna get at.
Oh, wow.
Make sure you have
We do like
cash.
China Bank.
Make sure you have cash always.
Right. I was super lucky, never had a single issue in 3 years, so you're lucky. I prefer the China,
Well, that's China Bank, though.
ATMs so much faster and always stocked with money. That's usually that we did tend to take our American Bank cards there, and we were pretty lucky at getting
Okay,
withdrawals from it.
now the weird thing about China Bank. First off, I don't have any problem with China Bank because that's the if I see a China Bank ATM, that's where I go. No, really.
Yeah, that's smart, Black Grandpa.
But here's the funny thing about China Bank is what I'm getting at is, you ever heard of BDO? Okay, some of you may not have heard of BDO, but a lot of you have heard of SM, right? So, SM Malls, SM Supermarket, SM Hypermart. Okay, SM owns BDO. SM owns China Bank, or rather, BDO owns China Bank. Point being is they're all the same basket. But here's the thing. I have problems with BDO, like literal problems. Like the card sometimes
Hey,
doesn't
vet
work.
dogs.
Sometimes their ATM doesn't take the card, that kind of deal. But guess what? I go to China Bank, never, ever a problem. So what I'm saying is, don't think because a particular bank or whatever is associated to another company, don't think that they're the same. They're not. Again, SM Hypermart, SM Malls are the own BDO, but I have issues with little card issues.
And then in the
With
beginning,
BDO.
this was frustrating. I thought George hit Walking Street when we first got here because he went to go get multiple withdrawals from the ATM, and they said that 10,000 had come out and it didn't. I think it was you.
Yeah, it was a
taking 30
BDO.
mistake.
It was a BDO ATM. Now, let's forget that problem. Okay, let's move on again. But no, I'm talking about move on from that particular problem. But we got the new card. It has a newer chip. Okay, it has a newer chip because they, your cards expire and they give you a new card and they update it. So we got an updated card from the US. It's got a new chip. I go to the BDO ATM. The freaking BDO ATM, even though it boasts it has the newest ATM, even the people in the bank says, yeah, it has the newest ATM. It did not take that card. Guess what? I went to China Bank. Boom, no problem. My point is, China Bank, yeah, that's where it's at. I'm just saying from experience. You know what I'm saying? And there's always a China Bank in the mall. And, well, there's always a BDO usually in the mall, too. But
I don't take money out of. We've discussed
No.
about going and taking money
don't
out of the malls. Although people don't have
yeah,
issues.
I don't recommend taking money out of an ATM unless there's a bank attached to it, because sometimes it eats it. The ATM eats your card, and then unless there's somebody standing right there, they can't take your card out. You know what I'm saying?
Kevin Vlogs, good to see you. One of our regulars, Kevin from San Antonio, deep in the thesis. So I haven't been on much, but I've fallen in love. And we've seen your photos. Very, very beautiful woman from, is that Gineog City? Or Gineog? Ginkuk. 3 years of watching you guys and other influencers. Thank you. No, thank you for being here. We've been in touch with Kevin, a very nice guy. Yes, I've been seeing you on Facebook. George has been, but thank you for being here. And I wanted to say, Black Grandpa said, yes, cash is king. I always have 3 months of living expenses in cash at the Mountain House, the same when I travel.
Yeah, always have cash.
We do. We tend not to say how much we keep here for that purpose, but I feel pretty safe here. And knock on wood, nothing's happened. Even when we went away on vacations, like, last night we had the gate open all night. Nobody messed with the e-trike. Nobody took the battery. And there are several nights our house isn't even, not the house is locked, but the gate itself, like with the pets in there, nobody's messed with them, or so feel pretty safe. So yeah, keeping the money in the house in different hidden locations is pretty smart, in case something happens. Guys, let us know, in general, like issues you've had here in the Philippines that you feel should be discussed. If you guys want us to, say, just different topics of what we're talking about today, about like moving abroad, problems that you'll run into, truths about living here in the Philippines. The next one that's really going to hit is this vlogger thing. The amount, I know we've talked about it. It's probably like beating a dead horse. It's going to be the vlogger thing where people are relying on the income, or the truths, how people are watching these vlogs and they're not being truthful what's going on. They show paradise when it's really not. That they go through and talk about like how safe and how nice the dating is, and they lead all these people here based on that, and it's kind of on them that they don't check into this stuff or ever visit before they up and sell everything and move here. So the truth in the vlogging and the pain and all that truth is the misinformation that's out there. It's like I just seen 10 more vloggers that are in the Dumaguete area that are following like old dog down to the T, and they're going on about their budgets, which are not truthful, by the way. Remember when we covered that Russian guy in Dumaguete? I won't say his name because there's several of them, but you know which one I'm talking about. Yeah. Where he said he was living on like $400 a month. Well, and then BS. We found out he had a girlfriend, and they were traveling by motorcycle.
Oh, that guy. No, that's
BS. Okay, so here's the deal. Supposedly he's built a house and he decided not to build it there. He bought more land, and he's double timing on his vlogs. He's got a new baby, and there's all this crap going on. I'm like, there's no way all of his budget stayed the same, but yet they're showing a low base budget. No. And there's a bunch of stuff going on. No, there's other things going on that's bringing in an income for this person.
They're baiting, yeah.
So there's these vloggers that showed that they're only living on, hey, I only got $600 a month. And the guy's under 40. I believe he's definitely under 40. And the problem is where's he getting his income? If it's online, come to the Philippines. It's okay to come here and work online, and it's okay to do this, and that. There are still rules and laws in place, and just because one person breaks them doesn't mean it's okay for you to break it. But all this misinformation of the vlogs, and people take that risk. You may be an example that the government, makes or something, but it's like, they show all this stuff, but they never talk about this stuff. And it's like, we know their budgets are all wrong. There's no way. It costs money to live here. It costs us 3 times as much to live here as it did in Mexico. But it's also less than half of living in the U.S. The costs are going up. The groceries are going up. And eating healthy is really going to cost. And people are like, oh, well, it depends on where you live. I know it's costing us out the yingas. Every time I go into eating pure healthy foods and things that are good for you, if you're not buying junk packaged food and sugary items, our budget did double on the groceries. So the items, George ain't happy about the healthy eating, but it's, we're doing more healthier things like the, more vegetables in the house, the meats versus ordering fast food, and all these things are adding up. But the whole thing is these vloggers that are giving you what you want, you ain't gonna get that here. You ain't paying it right. We don't get paid that much. There's not any amount of money in the world that's coming in that's that's right. So it's going to be hard to decipher, especially with all the shit going on in the US and the shit going on the internet, and the gaslighting and the smoke and mirrors and all this crap that's going on.
Well, not
so.
Okay, now first off, if you're new to the channel, again, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Makes that Heidi happy.
Not really.
Okay, if you're new to the channel, and I've said this several times. Now, keep in mind, I'm Filipino, and I'm up to date. I'm not one of those detached because there's a lot of Filipinos out there that do vlog. Either one, they lie flat out, or two, they're completely detached to reality or Filipino living. Now, what I'm getting at is, if a vlogger tells you that they're living at 800 or under, okay, if they're living on $800 budget and under. Okay, see this? See this wall right here? See how nice it is? How smooth it is? It's really smooth. What I'm saying is, if you don't see a freaking rough brick wall behind them, and they're vlogging and they tell you, "Oh, I'm living for $800," they're freaking lying. If their wall looks like a normal, regular house or regular, normal wall. Point being is, now if they live in like a crap hole, no offense to anybody, but if they're living in a crap
hole and still cost out the ingots.
right? Well, that's my point. But what I'm saying, if they say, "Oh, I'm living for 800," now again, this Russian dude says he's living in the 400. I'm like, that's impossible.
Yeah, now
That's
he's
freaking
building
impossible.
and he's got
You
a
cannot
baby
live at
and
$400 a month in your
It's
living
like all the
conditions.
gaslighting going on in the government in the U.S. It's kind of like, this is how I'm living, and you can live like paradise. Please watch my channel. You know,
Right,
it's like,
exactly.
There's no way.
They're pulling the wool over your eyes. They're just trying to get click for views. They're just trying to suck you in, get your money from contributions. Because
Kind of like me on George this morning.
oh, I can. Okay, you just affirmed what I want to hear. So here's some money. Let me donate. But point being is, they're looking for affirmation. Hopefully, you guys aren't those type
Some
of
of them are
people.
just narcissistic.
Because we're not gonna affirm your fantasies. We're not a fantasy channel.
We're not gonna fill your fantasies.
Yeah, we're not gonna fulfill your fantasies. We're not gonna lie to you. Again, we're just telling you, like right now, like, oh hey, by the way, if you have Social Security, if you do a direct deposit, you're stuck with that bank. You know what I'm saying? No, we're not gonna lie to you.
I think someone said it right the other day. For those that are on 12 to 14, or somebody said something about under $1,500. You need, I don't know if it was you drinking that alcohol. Maybe you should drink more alcohol. Or was that getting you all wound up? Okay, that's enough. All right, that's enough. My ADHD doesn't like Filipinos rubbing up on me like they do in the club. Oh, no, get it back in.
R. Kelly time.
You ain't R. Kelly and nobody right now. We have that gay barbecue. Hey, I got some hot dogs in the fridge.
What?
Anyways, so no, where was I at? So, anyways, yeah, I think the average Social Security is getting to be around 1,800, and you got somehow that are on a 900 a month or 1,000 a month. We still stick by, if there are two of you in the house at 2,000. No, there was somebody that tried to say that the Gerard Filipino that passed away, that his check was really low, that he also was on Social Security or something. But they said that with a full family, yeah, you can't have two kids and a wife and yourself and try to live on 1,400 a month here or 1,000. And then people fight you and say, "Oh, yes, I can. I live out in the province, and this is what." Yeah, you're eating fish and rice and stuff, and in half the time you don't have like any AC on, and that's not good for your health. I think a lot of these guys that are getting here like him, you need that AC, man.
See, here's the thing. That's fine. You are welcome to live your life. You're welcome to live cheap. You're welcome to eat. Hell, you can eat like rotten fish if you want. I don't care. But point being, if you're eating rotten fish, don't tell a freaking expert, "Oh, hey, this is my life. Check it out."
Baby.
Point being is, don't lie to your audience, and that's what I'm getting at.
Come say hi to the people.
And second off, don't go do your YouTube channel. Trust me, do not do YouTube.
There's Cookie Bear.
Oh, now I'm telling you this: don't do YouTube. Now,
you a good girl.
Now some of you will be like, "Well, I'm on Twitch." You know what?
I'm on
Never. Ever
I'm a gamer.
Ever vlog on or stream on Twitch. Twitch is probably the worst platform you can do. Sorry, Dan. Dan, I'm sorry, but you really need to fix Twitch. But anyway, point being is, do not ever be a streamer on Twitch. I'm a gamer.
Mary wants a kiss.
Okay? I'm a gamer. I'm legendary on Call of Duty. But I do not stream on Twitch for reasons. Do not do this if you value your life.
Mary just got her haircut yesterday. Say hi, Mary. Did the groomers come for you yesterday? Does anybody else use groomers in the U.S.? We finally got a good groomer that's...
Babe.
What?
Give her support. She's trying to read.
I am holding her. She's
on
Oh,
over
her
here.
upper half.
She's trying to be prim and proper because she's actually a very high grade.
I'm hybrid.
I
High
mean,
strung and hybrid.
more high strung, yes. No. Mary's is of a good pedigree.
So am I.
She doesn't have papers, but her mom and her dad have papers. She doesn't.
Oh, you being a good girl. So yeah, let me know if you guys have groomers, what it costs to groom a dog in the US. She gets the full works, the cut, blow dry nails, they trim her face and everything. And the tip, and that's a good tip. I'm going down. 1 second.
Yeah. Now also be aware. Actually.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Vets
for the
Vlogs.
birthday money. Thank you.
Oh, it's a hippo.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. We appreciate
Oh,
the
that's
support
so
during our
cute.
birthday
It
month.
turns his ad around and he goes. But
Yeah,
actually,
thank you.
Vets Vlogs. Scott and Isa and Ted brought up a good point.
It actually goes. A lot of this goes for pet supplies and everything, and all the strays. We got like cats that come in and everything, and of course we got to feed George and Mary. What are you doing, Mary?
Yeah.
But thank you guys.
Now, Ted, Scott, and Vets Vlogs actually brought up a good point. If can you use I believe he said MAC, which I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this. I think it means Military Air Command.
You are back in black.
That if you can use the air transport to fly to the Philippines, meaning if you can hitch a ride on like a C1. Well, I don't think they use C-130s for that anymore. I think they use C5s and what I'm saying, C5 Galaxies.
Real quick, Gio was the first YouTuber that Vet Vlogs watched. He was talking about when the Filipina P. Yeah, when the Filipina P started out, if she didn't start on Gio's channel and Old Dogs, and in my opinion, Gio was her big starter back then. It wasn't Old Dog. Old Dog, when we got here 4 years ago, his channel was fairly small, but Gio back in the day was one of the bigger vloggers, and I think he was really a good, she used him as a step.
Yeah. So again, like I was saying, you can't use their C5, for example. You can't use their C5 Galaxy to piggyback a ride from the U.S. to the Philippines if you're not an active military personnel. I believe that's what Ted is trying to say. For those of you who are wondering.
Vet Vlogs, I'm able to send money. Yeah, Western Union to Gcash. Yeah, they, in the last 4 years, they've really improved how you can send money, and recently they're allowing it shows American banks. Before, you couldn't use an American bank to even send Gcash or anything else. And I think there's even a way, like we've had people during our birthday month, we've received a few gifts through Amazon, because we have like an Amazon list that's like at the end of our description. Like if you hit the About Us, we have lists, and we have like a favorite list that we go through. And people can send us items directly through there. But there is like through, through Lazada. I think the same thing. I think you can do gift cards and items through that. And there's different ways to send your girlfriends and family members stuff.
Right. Okay. I'm going to argue with this because I rarely argue with the viewers, but I'm going to argue with this. What time is it travels time for sent? Now, he says, sorry, bro, but you're wrong. A man who was on Sunshine's shoulders. First off, I don't give a crap what. Okay, I love Sunshine. We love Calvin. We're actually in regular contact with him. Has nothing to do with him. Okay, was on Sunshine's shoulders by the name of Kay. Lives on $450 a month in Bulacan. He's vegan, which makes it worse.
Right.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you that right now.
And has no. I don't know. I'm just reading exactly what he says.
No living girlfriend.
Yeah, no living girlfriend, which is a man's biggest expense. No,
I can't see that.
No. Can he? Yes. I did say yes. However, be aware it's not
That's
something
a Filipino life
you don't want to live in.
Mm-mm.
Again, see this wall right here? You're going to be living in some freaking back room, like unfinished house no AC, no. You're lucky if you have electricity
Here's the deal. We broke
more than
down-
one electric plug.
Yeah, we've broke those budgets down, and even if he's living in Bulacan, like our rent is $200 a month, and we're not in the best neighborhood. Add in the bare bones on electricity, you're at $250 a month.
Yeah.
And you're still going to get places that cost that out there. And then you've got $30-40 a month worth of immigration. Okay, so you've got X amount in immigration, you've got food expenses, I call bullcrap on anybody that says they're living on that. It's not typical.
There's a caveat to that. Can you live Western living in Bulacan
Boom.
with that money? Okay, yeah, surviving in that time. But here's the thing. Can you live the Western life in Bulacan for $450 a month in Bulacan? Yes, but here's the caveat. Keyword caveat. There's a catch. You're probably living in Bulacan area where it freaking floods like heck up to your waist high. I am not making this up. I am not making this up.
Flood area.
Bulacan, in certain areas, or rather a lot of areas, it's a flood zone.
And here's the thing. The groceries have gone up no matter where you're at. Eggs on average here is 140 pesos a dozen, 150. That's almost $3 a dozen.
In fact, one of our friends owns
2 carrots are costing us $1. So this adds up very quickly. And being we're cooking at home every day and we've gone healthy, our grocery budget has doubled.
No, it's been going up.
Healthy and vegan is definitely going to cost.
It's anywhere in the world, but yes,
you're talking about all of it, like going to the avocado oil or using, we're not vegan, but, using
that makes it worse.
Fresh dairy, making
expensive.
our own dairy and yogurts and buying things. This is all getting expensive. I'm just not buying that. I'm not.
Yeah. And also be aware that, again, our friend owns or used to own Expat. An expat friend of ours used to live in Bulacan, just sold his house in Bulacan this year. Why? Again, for a lot of reasons. 1, the noise pollution. 2, flooding. So I'm not arguing with you. I'm not saying that you can't.
I don't know. Lou says you can.
No, you can. You can.
Well, we did. How much did we live on?
I clearly said you can, but do you want to? No, because you're living on the lower spectrum.
Right, yeah. I mean, yeah.
No, I never said you can't. I never said you can't. In fact, I'm saying
you won't
again,
thrive. I guess
I'm saying again. Word. I'm saying words like there's a caveat, there's a catch. You don't want to. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so yeah, that's 24,000 pesos a month.
You can.
15 to 18.
You're living
and
Filipino,
20 would be an average.
Which you're not used to.
Yeah, so yeah, you can live.
You're not going to have AC. I'm going to tell you right now.
How much was we living on when our card went out for the 2 months during
that's what I mean.
COVID and everything?
We lived for about
under
that
20,000.
It was horrible, but we had AC too.
Yeah, we had AC at night. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, for the most part, you won't have AC.
So it can be done.
It can be done.
Bullcrap on,
but it's something we do not recommend.
And here's the thing: I call bullshit on the whole deal. A lot of those guys are out doing things and traveling and gassing their motorcycle and all this, and I'm not believing that's within their budget. They don't tell you about the extra.
And I clearly
their medical, their medicine. Like medicine for us is costing $90 a month, and that's bare. Like minimum, like I'm on steroids.
Yeah.
Them are only like $5 or 5 pesos a pill. So that's not what's costing us. It's the basic heart medications, my pain medicines, and things like that. Right. The baby asprin that we take every day. And I'm clear with my
words too. I clearly stated, can you? Yes, they won't be like this. This is okay. We're living in an apartment which is somewhat almost Western standard. Almost. But point being, you're never gonna. You can't even live in a place like this at $450. You cannot.
No, this same place and other areas, even with the same looking neighborhood, is at 20,000 pesos a month. So we're actually lucky.
Think about it that way. Again, this is 10 grand, and this is cheap.
Right. This is 20,000 in other parts. Of the Philippines.
Yeah, and this is it's 20,000 right down the road. But point being is, that's done. Your budget is blown. It's gone. Sorry, I'm gonna live under for 4,000 pesos for the month with electricity and everything.
We eat Western style.
Right.
So he said, how much do you eat? Yeah, we
Right.
eat 2 meals a day, but everything's fresh prep.
Right,
So we
well-
keep everything in the house. I mean, how much do
Actually,
we eat?
I know this isn't much to look at. I get it, but this is actually a vegan. It's vegan
Yeah,
sugar
we
free.
still
It's
do our
still Western
shopping.
standard.
So maybe he doesn't keep a bunch of eggs and cream cheese and yogurts in the house and milk and, you know, the coffees that we have different types of coffees. Yeah, okay. So, you know, that's on us, but you didn't come here to actually not have anything at all. So
Well, and actually, to be honest with you, again, it's a lot
we
cheaper.
used to be twice as bad
It's-
in the US. We used to have
well-
like 5 different types of coffees.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a lot cheaper to eat junk. It's a lot cheaper to eat McDonald's,
Mhm.
to eat KFC. It's a lot cheaper to do that.
Yeah, so
Eating
now,
healthy is more
so
expensive.
Now we have chicken breast. Now we have chicken legs. Now we have, you know, grinded turkey. We have grinded chicken. We have things like it's grinded. It's chicken.
Can it be done for $800? No. Now you're talking about 450? Oh, hell no.
Real butter.
Hell no. You're lying to yourself. You're lying.
Oats.
Yeah, again. Most of the time, remember,
Frozen fruit. Frozen
these people
vegetables.
lie.
Well, you guys don't have to. They don't have to have all that either. We
Well,
just
that's what I
do
said.
it
You don't
instead of
have
eating
to.
out.
You don't have to. Again.
Yeah.
But the fact that, again,
And then
this
the
guy's
market
$450 budget, just getting a place that's somewhat decent,
It's not doable
it's
for
going
everybody.
to kill the entire
So
budget.
here's the deal. This guy, whether he appeared on Sunshine or said it on Sunshine, has no reflection on Sunshine.
Well,
That's the crap we would say they get here.
Right.
The same people spending $4,000 a month in the U.S. and all of that's not their rent. These are people in the West that are used to a Western style, and then they get her. They got a dishwasher, they got a washer and dryer, and all these things are going on. They get here, and then they're self-pay on their medical. They're self-pay on with immigration and all these different things. It does
and
change.
then there's catches again. For example, you stray away from Angel City, which again, the reason why I'm bringing that
Yeah,
up.
because Lou says I was paying $5,000 a month for a cement apartment in Zamboanga. It's possible to live on $800. I don't need expensive apartment, just
Okay,
somewhere to sleep.
So Lou is somewhat agreeing to what we're saying. I said somewhat because he's neither agreeing nor disagreeing. When he says 5,000 pesos a month for a cement apartment, point being, it's not done. It's not finished. It's basic.
See, the same with Cody
Right.
Williams. He's saying that he's only spent 10,000 Canadian in 2 years. So you're saying you've been living on 5,000 US or 5,000, which
Well,
is
no,
almost
no, that's not 5,000. That's more like 8,075.
even 7,000. Yeah. So that's about 800-900 a month.
No, it's possible. But didn't have
No,
rent
it's
to pay.
no, it's not that.
But didn't have rent to pay.
Yeah.
But didn't have rent to pay.
Okay, but that's in a 2-year period.
Yeah, but if you don't have to pay rent, most of the main expenses is rent.
Yeah, that's about 470 US. I see it's Canadian, but if you break that down, he's saying he can live on 450 without rent.
That's not the conversion.
Oh, okay, let me go get the Canadian versus dollar. For
Yeah,
Christ's sake.
it's not. I don't know where you're getting that conversion. But he's not paying rent. That's what he's saying,
Okay.
which is a major difference.
Okay, so you only get 73 to the dollar.
I know that. That's what I said.
Okay, so then let's.
Well, it went down. It went down.
Okay, 70. It equals 7,300,
Okay.
and then divide that by 24.
No, that's it. That's it. What are you talking about?
7,300
No, that's it.
divided by 24. He lived on, so it's 300 a month, US. He's saying he lives on without paying rent, 300 a month.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Heidi, you already converted it once. You don't have to convert it twice.
In a 2-year period, he lived on 7,300 US.
Oh, I see what you mean. But again,
He
no
spent
rent.
that in a 2-year period, so that breaks down to $305 US
Right,
a
no
month.
rent. I keep repeating that. No rent.
I don't give a shit if there was no rent or not.
Heidi,
That's
there's no
sort
rent.
of life.
It's still no rent.
Okay, what's that guy? I mean, you got somewhere to sleep. Okay. So they're not paying immigration. They don't have any medication. They don't have any insurance that they're paying for in case of an emergency. They're not traveling.
I don't think
They're not
so.
eating out.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know.
That is $75 a week, including immigration. And what I'm saying is this is the stuff we're talking about. It's an individual basis. I believe that he is. It's not okay for the average person that's coming here. Those are the same things that are out there. That, never mind. There's no reason for that. So that's on you guys. That it doesn't make a whole.
Okay, in all fairness, again, I'm not
Whatever.
mentioning whoever.
I don't
made
give a
that
shit
comment.
if there's no. It's
Again,
Cody Williams.
I know that.
So it
but
wouldn't.
what I'm trying to say is be aware that be careful of what information you disseminate. Because I get it. I'm kind of like a little bit on the fence on this one too. But I'm not saying it's not possible, especially if you're not paying rent. But we don't know the whole of it. Because you have to remember that a lot of times.
That's just like that Russian guy that said the same freaking thing, and then come to find out half the stuff wasn't even on his list. And these are the same people that say they can live on that budget, and I call bullshit, and they say it's their budget. And what? So you came here on an SRRV, and all your fees are paid. Your fees every month or every year is $400 if they're on an SRRV, so they still got fees every year. So the whole thing is $30 or $40 is going to go for some sort of immigration.
Oh.
And then the other parts of it is medication and medical and travel and the other things that they just sit there and watch TV all day.
Okay, as I was saying, again, first off, be careful of the information you disseminate that you get from people because you don't know the whole story. I don't know the whole story. Heidi doesn't know the whole story.
That's true.
But the key word is one, again,
Ooh, out of stock.
they're not paying rent. Now, the reason why that's crucial information, most of the time, the reason why you don't pay rent is because you're living in a family environment. You're not usually alone. Do you have your own room? Probably. Do you have your own house? Probably not. What I'm getting at is, do they pay for the meals every day? I'm going to tell you right now, probably not. Because if you're not paying rent, that means you're in a close-knit family environment where they have the food ready and you just sit there and have a family meal with the whole family. You get it.
Right.
What I'm saying is be careful with the information that you receive because
That's all we're
you
saying,
don't
yeah.
know the whole story. For example, me, okay?
Yeah, why not just live on 45 pesos and go straight to the
Right.
slums?
So what I'm saying is, let's say, well, I don't have to say. Like, for example, my uncle and I are very close. And, we usually spend time together every week. Heidi will agree to this.
No, I said he's always there with
And
the family.
the thing is, like, we usually drink, whatever. It's no big deal. We have a drink once a week, tops. So what I'm saying is, there's days that he brings me food, and there's days he doesn't. So he brings us food. It's like, hey, here you go. Here's some food. But point being is, and that's only with one family member. So imagine if you're not paying rent, that
That's
means
understandable, Cody.
you're with
It's not
a
for
whole
everybody.
family. You know what I'm saying? And usually in a Filipino environment, most of those family members will have some food for you just because.
No, he's saying that he does have a nice apartment at that amount of money. So there it is. And of course, I figured he was a vlogger. So that'd be the last person that I would actually technically believe on budgets. Yes, I understand vegans don't eat eggs. I'm highly aware of diets, how they work.
Okay, now I'm gonna call it out. I'm not calling you out. I'm calling it out. I'm not calling what time it travels for a cent. I'm not
Then
calling
he's
you
paying
out.
at least half of that
I'm
money in
telling you
rent.
that's a lie.
If he's got a nice place, then I'm gonna tell you,
Then
nice
it's a
cost here.
lie.
Nice and Western will cost you.
Correct.
And I'm sorry,
That's
food's
you have to.
expensive.
And
so
then
he doesn't
vegan.
eat
You're throwing
eggs.
vegan? You're kidding me right now? No.
Fruits and vegetables are astronomical
No.
right
Fruits
now.
and vegetables cost.
Especially there.
It's cheaper to eat meat. It's cheaper to eat meat.
Yep.
I can go out there right now and buy a meal for 60 pesos. So it's like $1.10. You know what I'm saying? And it'd be mostly meat.
No,
But if I
vegan is
buy
always
an
cost.
all vegetable
Vegan
one,
items, or whether he's
no,
cooking,
that's what I'm
or
saying.
whether he's eating just
meat
rice
is always cheaper. And
and
remember that,
vegetables.
even in the U.S., it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that meat is cheaper than vegetables. I know it's sad. Back then, you have to be a pauper to
Like
eat
we're
vegetables.
getting things like pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, sunflower seeds, oats, and then of course we're not vegan, so it's eggs. We got the soy flakes, which is the TVP, the chicken, the carrots. We went to go do a paraquat to make vegetable stock, and that alone cost us $15 just to make a vegetable stock for the month. We make them into ice cubes to put into, say, George's rice and all that. The carrots, celery, and the onions actually were not cheap. By the time we got all the ingredients and the garlic, that's what we were out.
No,
So,
I'm calling that guy out again. That's a lie. Again, remember, I specifically said, you can leave a Heidi out of this. You can say I did. I specifically said there's this vlogger, big vlogger in Surigao that says, "Oh, I leave about X amount of dollars per week in Surigao," and then he goes. Then his family goes to freaking Starbucks and crap. And I'm
I'll call it out. What's the name of his channel?
You're a liar. You know
if he's got enough vlogs, we'll be able to look and say there's no way with his traveling or the way he's living or how he's eating, what the cost of
that
everything
Russian
is.
vlogger. His travel alone blew his budget off.
Well, the fact he in the beginning never mentioned his girlfriend, they were like,
"Oh yeah, that's another thing."
And then
he has a girlfriend.
In the next video, he's like, "She's been living with me."
Done.
And now he's married her, and he's got a baby, and he's still near the same budget, but building a house. And it's like people got to look at the entire picture, or look at yours. Forget about all these other vlogs. Look at your own self. Whatever life you're living in your country, and you come here. A lot of people, the first thing is like, what I was thinking is, I'm a survivor. Sure, we can drop down to 20,000 pesos a month. There's no doubt in my mind. But then, it's like, what kind of life is it at that point?
Me and Heidi did live for $800 a month. Fact.
It was probably even less than that.
Yeah, it was $750. But point being is it possible? Yes, we're not denying it. We're still here. And we're still in the same place.
Unhealthy,
but
everything.
We weren't happy because one, we can't go anywhere. Two, we ate the same crap because you're trying to make sure you're in that budget. Again, is it possible? Yes.
Immigration,
but will you be happy?
No,
you will not. We keep repeating that. Is it possible? Yes. But
yeah.
You're not going to be happy about it. I'll tell you right now.
Oh, he's just saying he sees our point, but love you. Yeah, we're not trying to really even stir you guys in the direction. It's the channels and others that come through. And remember, there's always going to be a one-upper, and we've learned this. But besides, and we're not saying you are. There's bad trolls out there. We've seen people try to redirect the narrative, and they go into channels and leave lies and bogus information just to make the vlogger that's talking. If we're talking about one thing, people go out, they create accounts just to come into our lives and go against us. They want to see us fight. They want to see us all riled up. And they do that. And it's not what I'm believing is going on right now, but they do it, and they leave the comments in front of people. And we want people to discern and be able to look at the whole picture. And a lot of you will never make it here. A lot of people that are watching us now have never even been to the Philippines. A lot of them haven't even left their own city, or they've left their area. Sunshine Shoulders has talked about that. A lot of you guys are just players. A lot of you are wannabes. A lot of you will never get off the couch and do anything. There were a few of them. You can read those out.
Well, honestly, again, I don't.
But it's like,
I don't recommend any of that.
I was called out in the beginning because I was only here for 6 months or a year or whatever. Now I'm here 4. Do I get out every goddamn day? The answer is no. I am disabled.
why?
I have medical
Even if
issues.
you're not, why would you?
I didn't do it back in the
You,
U.S.
you know how many retired Americans, keyword Americans, that I know that I'm friends with that don't even leave their bedroom? Well, not bedroom, house.
Well, and that's
they don't leave their house.
Let's.
They sit in the living room playing freaking Candy Crush or whatever. I'm not making this up. And then you know what? Who cares? I don't care. That's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do.
Well, here's another thing. Let's redirect the conversation in something new. Let's get off the budgets and let's get into the depressed, the mentally ill, and things falling apart in America. So people are like, I got to get out of America. I got to get out of Canada. All the foreigners, all this crap going down, all the immigration problems. And so now they're heading over to Asia because they can live on their budgets and they're investing their crypto coins and all that. So here you are. A lot of these guys will get here, and one of the other problems that I'm seeing is they never leave the freaking house. Like they don't want to take their trash out. They don't have anybody come in. They're hiding from people, and they bring their same issues that they're having in the U.S. here. And coming to Asia is not going to change you guys. A lot of you guys think it's a magic bullet pill that you'll get here, and their life will totally change. They're going to find a wife and a girlfriend. That new wife and girlfriend's going to be their new spunk juice of the year, and it doesn't work like that. And we were just talking that a few months ago there were two guys that died in Cebu, and one they found in a condo. He had trash and beer bottles and looks like he hadn't cleaned his house in months, and the family didn't even know that he had passed on, but he's just been sitting in the apartment rotting, and he passed away in there. A lot of these guys stopped getting their medication and everything. Now, would they have done this in the U.S.? The answer is yes. That's what I'm trying to say, is that people do not exactly get here and go out all the time. Like they don't go out vacationing. They don't go out mountain hiking. They don't have to, when I was in the U.S., I was already a homebody. Like I was taking care of my dad, me and George.
Fine, that's fine.
Well, not every day. We went out. We went camping. And so this is like, we were used to working 40-hour
Once
weeks.
you hit that age, what I'm saying, you want to...
We planned 2 or 3 vacations a year. We went camping like once a year. We would go to concerts. We were working. Then we would go out and do things.
What I'm saying is, you may think you want to, and you do it 1 or 2 times, and you're like, you know what? F this. I'm too old for this crap.
It's too freaking hot out there, man.
Or that. The point being is, eventually you're like, you know what? This ain't worth it.
Well, like me, there's a market that comes once a week. I go to the market. I've been getting out walking the dog. So me and the dog, we'll go out. Okay. Or we, George goes to the family, or I'll go to the mall, or we go to the mall together, and we go to the movies on the occasion. And then sometimes we go to them places like we're on the interstate, and you stop off and there's like restaurants or shops or something.
Yeah.
Sure. But you also don't want to sit there and rot either. What, the mouse?
Yeah.
Oh.
Only because it's too good to pass up.
All right, hold on. Well, if you want control of this,
I just want one up. Okay, this is just too good to pass up. Chat, again, this is not me making things up. And this is not this is not me trying to do anything like that. Okay. Where is it? Now, this is what I'm talking about, and this is what's dangerous. You guys are in the US right now, right?
Oh, somebody knew.
Right. You guys are in the US right now. For those in the US, chat. Again, chat, please.
Are they saying that's in Texas?
Educate me right now.
Oh, bullcrap.
Okay.
That's not true.
Biringan Channel 2.0. I'm Filipino. I live in Houston, Texas. I only pay $300 rent.
Who in the U.S. is paying $300
and only spend $100 for food for the whole month?
There is
chat. So tell me this is true, or tell me it's not.
So how are you living on $25 a week for food for one person?
Jesus Christ.
Even if you went to the Dollar Tree, which has gone up, and bought an oversized, you realize an oversized sack of rice that would last for the entire month would be what, $30-$40? So this is what we're talking about. I mean, it would not be typical. So okay, so if that's what's going on with you, I want to know where you're paying $300 a month. I need a location, because that's in Houston is a major.
electricity.
Yeah, electricity, water, trash, internet. But that's just for rent, though. That's for rent.
I know that average electricity bill now is $300 a month.
AI says I eat healthy, but like a bird, and only eat twice a day to save on food expenses. Yes, you do the OMAD, which is twice. And that's pretty much us. Like I try to only do like one snack, and it's usually something like healthy or something. So yeah, it's called OMAD, where people are only eating twice a day. We rarely eat more than that. Okay.
What time is travel's time for Cent says he lives in a Super 8 hotel on $300 a month.
I can't even imagine I cannot imagine.
I hate to say this.
300.
You can't even live in a Super 8 for 300.
I don't even think you could live in one of those, what do they call them, the hostels, or where people are living, kind of like when people get out of jail or they're out of drug rehab and they all share the house.
I'm not.
At $300 a month, I could, and he's in Houston on top of that.
That's what I'm getting. I don't know. The only way you can live at $300 a month in Houston, if you're in the worst part of Houston, Texas, in a freaking trailer park, renting a room. And I'm not making that up. That is not an exaggeration. From my experience, the only way you can survive in Houston, Texas, for $300 a month is if you're living in some back trailer renting a room. Well, Philippine Journey says.
Here, you can do some.
Philippine Journey says.
Well, I'm trying to find somebody.
Okay, our Philippine Journey says, I suspect he's living under the bridge at FM 1960 in Goof Street. I've lived in Houston 30 years ago, and my rent for one bedroom was $900 30 years. No, and that's my point. See, I'm not that out of touch, even though I'm in the U.S., but I know I'm pretty good at inflation and everything. But there's no way you can live on $300 a month unless there's something shady going on, or it's just some old lady who's not updated, and you're renting a room from her. You know what I'm saying? Because no offense to anybody who's old and senile, but there are some really old people out there that are kind of out of touch.
Yeah, hotel.
And they rent the same amount. The reason why I know this is because. Again,
he said he might be rent sharing. I still say even at 300, you can't find a roommate for that. I mean, roommates would probably still cost you $1,000.
Let's forget the rent. $100 a month. How can you survive $100 a month on food? I'm going to ask you right now. Anybody,
even somebody who eats like a bird in the U.S. You couldn't
how you can survive $100 a month.
That would be 5,000 pesos a month here, and who's going to live on 5,000? Even an individual single person, that would be hard here. That's what.
I mean, how much does an Easy Mac cost? $10? I mean, how long is that going to last you? 2 days if you're stretching it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And.
Yeah, let us know if you guys think you can do that here or there. You would have a hard time doing that here.
Again, is it possible? I'm not saying it's not possible. Is it possible? Yes, it is.
Because here's the thing. People can fast. If you fast, half the day and only eat once a day, and you get certain. But I can't even imagine just doing. I don't even know what you would actually begin to do.
Okay, K Dollar says he lives in ramen noodles and tuna fish. Okay, you know what? That's possible. Yes, that is possible. $100 a month if you're living on tuna and ramen.
But didn't ramen itself go up? Isn't that almost $1 a pack?
No, I know, but
so he's only going to eat one pack for 3 meals a day.
No, he's not eating 3 meals a day. That's the thing. He's probably eating I'm not saying he is, but if you are living on $100, you're probably living on 1 or 2 packs maximum a day, and that's ramen.
All right, so that's 30, possibly 35 for ramen.
That's rough.
A can of tuna's got to be $1.50.
Yeah,
That's another 30. So
right.
that's almost.
Lou says I was paying for $1,200 for a shoebox in Plano, Texas, back in 2017. So, yeah.
And who the hell wants to live like that? Because even if he got 1 can of tuna and 2 packs of noodles, that's close to $100 a month. And so you're only eating a can of tuna and that every day. So that's the way you're living. Why the F are you eating only that a day? And definitely where you get, what are you paying? You living in your mommy's basement or something? George, ramen noodle is almost $1 a pack.
I'm not. No, I mean, that's the thing.
Ramen went up, and it's really going to go up now with the imports and shit. Good luck on the tariffs and the U.S. shit. You guys been so worried about that big, beautiful bitch budget that just went through. Wait till everything else hits you guys by Christmas.
Okay, so now this is an exception to the rule. Now, and I'm pretty sure that's why he said it. Patriot for Life says, I was employed on a well rig in the Gulf of America, the Gulf of Mexico, guys. 1975, rent free, 6 months on rig, 6 months off. Well, no. This is true. If you have there's certain jobs that you don't need to rent anything. The only reason why you have a place to live in is so your stuff have a place to live in, not you. Yeah, no, it's possible. Yeah. There it is.
Yeah, I mean, actually, that would be an option, but that's 1975.
3 ramen is $1.50 in Dollar General. So basically, it's about average of 50 cents a pack. Because Mike Miller says 40 cents. So, well, I mean, like I said, average. This vlog says I also hope to come for medical tourism.
But that would still be 50 cents. And if he's eating 2 a day, that's still $1 a day. That's 30. A can of tuna would be another $30. The tuna's got to be at least $1.
No, it's
$1 something here. A can. It's 79 pesos.
Who would want to do that?
So 2 ramens and a noodle a day.
Who would want to do that?
Nothing else. Nothing. No way. Somebody, I don't know.
No, is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? No.
Yeah, probably better than some people have. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, eat that
or you
food,
can buy a bunch
can't afford it.
Yeah.
Well, I've looked into that a long time ago, only because there was somebody on one of those reality TV channels where this alleged millionaire, was eating on pet food.
Oh my god!
And I was like, you're basically only saving 30 cents per can, so what's the point? You know what I mean? But anyway, Vet's vlog says if I get medical attention for injuries, I was previously
everybody's a racist. They tried to say Sunshine's a racist. Everybody's a freaking racist. It's how you guys all look at it too. And some people just need to buck the hell up these days. Have you seen the shit that comes out on every social media platform?
Oh my gosh! Don't get us started.
Are getting more racist, more
really
politician. They're getting sexual, and the ones that I keep watching are those monkey ones or the apes, and they're talking about they just had sex with this and that, and they just did that, or they got these old ladies cussing you out and talking about how to sex somebody up, and it's like they're not removing them, they're not doing anything, and then everybody gets hypersensitive on them, and it's just life, man.
When Heidi says it's just life, actually a lot of people don't realize.
There's a lot of people being over racist.
Well, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't realize this.
And if you don't,
a lot of people are unintentional racist. For example, Filipinos are unintentional racist. What do I mean by that? Filipinos tend to be really nice to you if you're a foreigner. Not because they're racist, because when you're a foreigner, they think you have money. You know what I'm saying? So that's unintentionally being racist, because that means they're like, but remember, it applies to Filipinos too. Right. So I'm saying they'll be like, oh, he has money, so I'll be extra nice to him. That kind of deal. And again, for example,
your nose is dirty.
If you're Caucasian or if you're African American, doesn't matter what your nationality is. You tend to address people as your own. For example, I'm Filipino, right?
Hey, white chocolates.
So if I have a vlog, I have a tendency to say, "Hey, kabayan," which means, "Hello, my fellow men."
Hi to all you white chocolates out
You know
there.
what I'm saying? Right. So what I'm saying is, "Hello, my fellow men," which again in my native tongue is kabayan, which again it rolls off to us like naturally. It's natural.
I don't give a shit who I
And then
offend.
we were like, "Oh well, for us Filipinos, this, for us that." Not because I'm
Hello,
being,
Cracker Nation.
not because I'm being
Welcome.
racist.
Morning.
It's just only because that's what I identify as, and therefore I tend to sell what I'm trying to sell to my own kind first.
And who knows if he's even doing that? I mean, if he's just talking
Well,
mostly
that's what I'm
about
saying.
black
I'm not
people and I
saying
want to
that.
be around my black people. No, the racist stuff that's really racist and doesn't even offend me is where they totally talk about just white people and they do racial things, or like where they show black people stealing TVs in people's yards in these new AI videos and stuff where they're outright showing them picking cotton and they've got them in chains out there talking about, well, I didn't get did you get your break today? And they like, have you seen how serious these are getting out there?
So that's an example.
It's getting super, super racist. And even then, if people don't look at it as, well, it's each individual that's getting upset about that.
Well, that's what I was saying. For example, like
although there is a very deep, dark history of how bad that stuff has gotten. But you're talking about usually it's the younger ones too that are getting highly offended.
well, that's the thing. It has nothing to do with the actual people that were involved.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, again, it's you tend to sell stuff that you're related to with. So therefore, if you're
and
Caucasian,
you're right, Cody.
you tend to sell stuff to white people, even though you're not aware of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For example.
Yeah, 80,000 would be, I think, around 1,500 a month or so. I think that's somewhere about 1,500 to 1,600, and that's for an individual. If you go having kids and a wife and they're like, oh, well, I only live on 30,000 pesos, so we have plenty of money to survive. Let's have one kid. Let's have two kids. And it's like, no, don't do it, because here you're going to have to pay for private school. The kids are expensive. Diapers aren't cheap. Formula's not cheap. Do they do it here? Yes. I had the same thought. I'm going to get here on 80,000 pesos. We're going to have a housekeeper and we're going to buy a car and payments and we should be just fine situation. It's like, nope, didn't live anywhere like that. Figured we were going to travel and eat out and we had our savings. No, we slowly started going through the savings. It just doesn't quite work like that. But yes, 80,000 minimally. And if you go having, I would recommend 1,500 for you to start with, and then you would need 1,000. So if you've got a wife and a kid coming, I would add another 2,000 to that a month and get something nice. Don't have to. But then again, think about what's going on in the rest of the world. How bad are things getting in your country? How big are the things? Are you going to retire early and live on your savings and invest, and all these things are going on? I mean, who knows where America is going to be in the next 2 to 3 years? I'm telling you right now, the next 5 years is critical in the U.S. Somewhere between the AI and the government and the immigration issue and all these things going on, there's a big trial coming to America. And I'm going to tell you right now that me and George thank our lucky stars that we came here 4 years ago. There's no way I would be dealing with that shit in America.
Yeah.
Sorry, I do. I seen somebody that showed the Statue of Liberty, and with the president's arm around her, and she was doing a help sign. It made me cry. I outright cried, and it was put up by Bette Midler, the singer, and it had some slow opera music. I said, yes, America is dying. They have officially, several European countries have put a warning about traveling to the U.S. That's pretty scary.
Okay.
They're treating it like coming to the Philippines or something, like going into Mindanao. That's bad.
Dying, but the America as you know it is dying.
Yeah.
Just to clarify. I mean, I'm not saying that, America, it's not the America land of the free, land of the brave kind of deal. No, it's not anymore.
Oh, congratulations. His stepson is getting married.
Oh, congratulations.
Aww.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and be careful of AI. AI lies a lot. Like this morning, Hacksack, I looked it up.
Yeah, I tried to look that up.
Yeah,
He said the
and-
channel was called K in the Philippines, but I didn't see him.
Yeah. For example, hacky sack. If you look up hacky sack on Google, it'll tell you it was invented by Americans. First off,
Yeah,
it's
we were
not-
watching Filipinos in the 60s
Yeah,
playing
it's
hacky sack.
it's not
Well, of course it is.
created
It's just,
by Americans in the 1970s.
yeah, it's only getting information from what's out there.
Well,
so there's
that's
a lot
the
of
point.
misinformation
But you
on the
have to
internet.
really dig deep now.
You
What I'm
do,
saying is,
yeah.
do not believe AI. It
Yeah,
lies.
do your own research.
And for those of you who are wondering when was hacky sack invented, it was invented in the 206 BC by Chinese. But anyway, point being,
Here's
do
the
not
thing.
believe-
You're new to this
do
channel,
not
and we
believe AI.
always talk over each other. I've always cut in, and if I got something to say, my ADHD, and it's what we do. We fight on air, short of punching each other upside the head.
whoa.
Oh, what? Have you figured out the secret ingredient to your cake?
No, I don't. That's why I stopped eating it.
Why? Does it taste bad?
No. Point is, if you do that, somebody will stop eating it. I don't care who you are.
Okay, it's raisin. I grinded up raisin for the sweetness.
Okay. No, even the chat will agree. If somebody's like, "Oh yeah, there's a secret ingredient there,"
You didn't mind drinking your dirty bong water. You didn't mind that, dude. Would you like your glasses back?
no, because they're a pain. They're not Western standard.
They are Western standard, my butt. So, anyways, we've done that, and we're not trying to. When we first started, we had a few people, probably less than half a dozen people have left comments on our comments saying, "Stop cutting him off. Stop cutting him off. Stop talking over each other." Yeah, when there's a talk show going on, and when these guys are all chatting, and the news people on Fox and these other stations are talking over each other, you guys don't say nothing. What the hell?
K Dallas says he lives with his mom.
Oh, you're an Angelus. That's cool.
No,
yeah.
I'm talking about K Dallas. He says he lives with his mom. That's how he can afford it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
Funny-
hey, you know
funny, but probably
how
true.
we really afford to live? I send George to live with his family a couple days a week, so he hangs out there
How's
with
that
his uncle.
cheaper? That doesn't even make any sense. You're still paying rent. You're still paying.
That's when I'm not ordering the
Electricity.
fast food and all that. And
You stopped doing that anyway.
well, yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is, we don't have to spend as much when you're over there.
It doesn't make sense, but okay.
Yeah, you're not using extra shampoo, no extra water.
Why don't you just say that I'm not here to suck up all the oxygen?
Pretty much. Yes. He lives in a Super 8 motel. I doubt that. Not on $300 a month. So I bet you Super 8 right now is no less than $100. The cheap dirt dog hotels of the US are now $100. $100 back in the day would have been a nice place. You know, when we left 4 years ago and we were at the border of Texas going into Mexico, what'd we pay? What was the cheapest hotel for a queen size bed that was halfway? 150, 200? And we paid 200 at that place. It wasn't even a 3-star place.
Empress Inn.
No, not the Empress Inn. And even that was still 80 or 90 bucks.
That was in Texas.
That was horrible. It was one of those side like motel hell place, right? And the sheets were
Not joking.
they never washed the bed covers.
This actually happened.
They had pets in there, so there was dog pee. There was a dry
We were
dog
on the way to
turd
Mexico, and this is
in
when
the
it happened.
corner. It was nasty.
Oh my god!
It was horrible. It was
And
like
then-
Bates Motel almost.
And then the guy was arguing.
It was the only
arguing
place
with me.
we were tired.
Oh my god!
It was bad. It was really bad. It was one of the. I'm talking about like the one at the border cost us almost 200. But that was the one after we got through Mississippi.
Empress Inn.
Yeah, we drove all the way through. So we came and cut through Florida and Mississippi and all that, and then
here's the
dropped
thing.
through Texas.
Here's the reality. First off, we were on a journey, right? Literally, we were on the way to
Let me
Mexico.
take you on
The
a
first hotel that we hit on the
journey.
Texas border, well, actually, it was in Alabama. It was like days in. It was right by a freaking prison.
I like prison.
It was a freaking days in, and then literally on the back lot is the
one
prison.
of the county jails.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it was. Where was that at?
It was in Alabama board.
Was it was up in Tallahassee then?
And
when
I
we went
flew
out
the freaking drone, and the drone won't go forward because it won't fly over the prison. It goes like it has that.
Oh, maybe
It has
probably
that-
rents a room from
Yeah.
a family.
Oh,
yeah. I just. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
halfway
a
house, yeah.
that's a good theory. Yes.
Even when I lived on my dad's property in the house, including utilities, it was still 700 in the end when I left. So I lived at George's house, and we still paid him for the apartment and kept the apartment. The cats lived in it for 700 a month for what, like 5-6 months?
Yeah, something like that.
So we were paying that kind of money just for the freaking cats. Let me tell you what, cat food would have cost more than 100 a month for sure. And so, yeah, probably a halfway house. Oh, I thought OMAD was twice. All right, so that's 1 meal a day. Okay, so it's okay. I thought they said the OMAD was the 2 meals a day.
1 meal a day.
Is it? Okay, so
Yeah.
I said that backwards.
It's
So
literally
excuse me.
like it's 1 meal a day.
So then,
2 meals a day.
okay, 2 meals a day. So
Yeah, I did say 2 meals a day.
okay, excuse me for living.
Yeah, I did.
Excuse me.
No, I'm just saying what I said.
I don't spend 3,000 a month. My SOL. Oh, your wife is actually the one spending it. Yeah. I suspect he is living under the bridge at FM in 1960 and Goof Street, right? I lived in Houston 30 years ago. Yeah, my rent for the 1 bedroom was $900. Yeah. So it's especially in Houston. As soon as we got into Texas, everything got expensive for us traveling through there. And I couldn't imagine, and I can't for the life of me understand how somebody in this day and age is living on 100. We've had people that every time we do the budget thing, they're like, oh, you're full of shit telling people about living there on that cost. They can. And totally went against us to say, would they say their rents were? They were living under 1,000, and I'm like, well, yeah, maybe if you get some sort of subsidies or you're living with somebody, but it's not normal.
Oh, in the U.S.,
the same here as an expat. None of that is normal.
No.
And what's going to show the bullshit is these vloggers. They'll show that everything's all buttoned up and beautiful and everything is okay, which I'm telling you what, again, I'm grateful that I'm here, and I'm glad that, I don't have to worry about my bills being paid, or our electricity. Might be things like the card doesn't work, or we have, can't get money. Earlier, I think I put it up on screen where they were talking about here in Angel City. The ATMs go down all the time. There's power outages. You don't know if your bank account or Gcash. There was one time where Gcash went down for 4 or 5 days, and we had just put in a large amount. It was meant for our for the internet. It was meant for major payments, and it just went poof. So these irritating things will happen, but at least, I feel safe here. I don't have to worry about some sort of bullshit immigration shit going on. I don't have to worry about, where the rent or where our food is coming from, or George working 80 to 100 hours a week running the business. And so there's a lot of good. And like when I get out and I walk and I get to see people, I feel safe. I don't feel, it does depend on where you live here, or the time of day. I don't know if I'd go walking around in our neighborhood at 2, 3 in the morning, but most people have a video camera in this neighborhood, and you're probably more worried about stray dogs jumping on you, which can be a serious thing, by the way. But all in all, I feel way better here, and it was like one of the best moves. But you guys have to make the plans. You got to come here. You may not even be able to get past the weather. You may not be able to get past the infrastructure. And, I wanted to actually call this like I'm a survivor situation, because I have been in way worse situations in areas in my life in different countries, and I've had it way, way better, of course. So it's kind of a balance, whether, you're surviving medical issues, family issues, or living. Like, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I mean, we were down to peanut butter sandwiches for lunch situation as a kid. Probably a lot of people were. But the whole point is I'm a survivor. If all this shit dropped out and we only had the $100 a month to live on in food, I'm going to survive eating just rice. I don't know about that dried fish shit. But you a survivor there?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. What are you? You can move this. I don't. Why you're trying to look around that?
I'm not.
Okay. Well,
Our Philippine journal says if he is spending $300 a month, he needs to give the details.
yeah.
With no details, you can only assume he's living alone. That's BS.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Again, it's. I find it odd that all of a sudden he goes quiet. I mean, he did make a statement, and your answer is, which is kind of very, very vague.
Every time somebody weird comes on here, I think about Expat John. More likely, it's our original trolls
No,
creating
no, it's
accounts.
not Expat John because Expat John's smarter than that. What I'm saying is he would have a comeback faster than that, and he would have a better comeback then. And your answer is, but anyway.
Right. Well, yeah, Mike Miller said 300 a month per person, and a rental would still be 1,200. Yeah, but who's even paying 1,200? Even 1,200 is a 8 year ago thing. 1,200 a month would still be cheap rent in the U.S. I tell you, it seems the average now is 1,500, 2,000 or more. And sure, if everybody divides it up, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot more, like the utilities, the internet, the water.
And not to mention, you have to realize that, again, do you really want to deal with roommates? I mean, just saying. I mean,
that is true. They said maybe
Did
10
I have you
people.
roommates? Yes. When I first landed in the U.S., yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, did I have roommates? Yes. When I first landed in the U.S., and after that,
And that's true. Living in the country would be cheaper, another country.
yeah. It's like when you're a teenager, that kind of deal. Yeah. I wasn't even 21 when I had roommates, put it that way. I was like 19. I was 19 years old when I had roommates. You know what I'm saying?
Hello, Erica.
So my point being
Good
is,
morning.
as a full-grown adult with roommates, I get it. I understand. But what I'm saying is, most people don't have roommates anymore. You know, I mean, now I get it. This modern age or era. The kids, yes, they probably do have roommates, but us in our age, no.
Mm-hmm. I also hope to come for medical tourism. Yeah, although I'm 100% disabled from injury sustained in combat, after a couple accidents, TRICARE, Medicare, and Social Security all threaten assume me. Maybe
Yeah.
consume me. But yeah, I mean, with everything going on with the different things that are going on in the U.S., yeah, I mean, medical tourism here in the Philippines, other Asian countries tend to have some of the better medical here. I wouldn't say that the Philippines is your best option if it's only medical tourism. It's going to be way cheaper. They've got some decent dental and everything else, but there are other Asian countries that are also cheap that have, a higher. I think even Thailand, they said, had a better. Where would you, if your mom was coming, would you have her get her major medical here, or what Asian country?
I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard Thailand.
That's different. I mean, what I'm saying is it's specific.
I just wouldn't come here though for just medical.
Yeah. And again, now keep in mind that your needs are specific. What I'm saying is,
they were saying Japan,
there's some
Thailand.
stuff that Thailand can take care of that Thailand can't. Same thing in the Philippines. There's some that Philippines can and can't. So no, that's specific. So I don't know if Thailand can take care of her needs. I really don't know. Now Black Grandpa says, I love peanut butter and jelly and sandwich, and I'm still eating it today. And my Pinoy wife's loves it. Yeah, no. Can you live with, peanut butter and jelly? Yeah, you can. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
But eventually, it does get old. I don't care how much you love it, because you know what? I love peanut butter and jelly too. Again, thank you, Ted. Thank you.
Yeah, Scott, we love peanut butter.
Yeah, and again, so what I'm saying is, well, first off, the peanut butter is gone. But what I'm saying is,
that is true.
But if I were to eat it every day,
and them are the same ones telling you they live on the 1,500 or 80,000 a month, but yet we know their videos always show them traveling or eating out or at the bars, and it's like, okay, well, here's my budget for the month. I spent X amount on this and X. Okay, what about all the other stuff you've been showing in your vlogs? Just like, this is all we spent this month. Is like, what were them videos from 3 months ago or something? But it's like you watch them eat out breakfast and at least dinner in the same videos. Now, I know people combine videos together, but sorry, they're still, we know they're going through money, and then they're like, they just have to or need to say that they're living dog cheap here. And we're still on a budget, and we only have X amount of income and never proclaim to be like, up there as far as our planning. And we still spend loosely, you know what I mean? But we didn't come here to sit there and.
Oh yeah, and just real quick, Victoria says, did Baringans mean $300 weekly? No, he specifically stated $300 monthly plus $100 a month on food alone.
Okay, I want people to comment on this comment. Jay Sully said, it's all a show. America is still the best country in the world. Probably on paper it is, but why are the other countries in Europe and other places not going? What's going on with the government?
Okay.
What's going on with the finances and jobs? What's going on with what used to be? Everything is, I'm sorry, it is starting to, with the way the government is acting, with the way things are going, it's slowly turning into a third world nation. It just is. It doesn't matter if he deports millions out of there. There is so much stuff going on there, and violence and all that, that it's unreal. I can't even begin to tell you. They were just showing in Philadelphia on Ring Cam that there was a total shootout on the 4th of July in a neighborhood. And it's just like people are being run over, gunned down. It's not safe to go to certain festivals. And in other words, look at all the stuff that happens there that would never happen here. Like stuff, the unaliving of students while they're in school or elementary or middle. Sorry, I don't think anymore. I think the last 5 years, the country is majorly gone down the drain. So.
Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. First off, I have nothing against America.
No, and it's.
But be aware that depending on who you are, what you are, your age is, your lifestyle is, your monetary situation, that's where your opinion of America is. Meaning, if you're on the lower scale, you probably.
If you come from somewhere in South Africa or bad side of Mexico and you get in there, it might be milk and honey. But it's still even bad for foreigners trying to come over and hit their dream now. A lot of Filipinos will leave here and they go over there and they're like, this is not what I bargained for.
Well, some Americans. Some Americans. I'm not talking about foreigners.
Foreigners arriving, yeah.
I'm saying that if you're an American, a real American, not an immigrant, if you're a real American, if you're on the lower end of the spectrum, you probably hate it right now. If you're on the upper scale of the spectrum, you probably love it right now. Again, I'm not being judgmental. I'm just telling you how it is.
And we're not talking about people losing their benefits and all that, because I keep seeing the MAGA people. Again, we're not on either side. It may seem like it. But they're coming through and saying, good, those people are going to learn a lesson. All their benefits are being taken away. They're lefties and all this stuff. Yeah, I agree. Those that have been sitting on welfare for years, they need to get up off of it and stuff. But what people don't realize is they're going to cut into everybody. The old people, the vets, all of this. It's just not going to be. They think that the bill is only going to apply to getting all these lazy people off their butts, and it's not. It's going to hurt the veterans. It's going to hurt the older people, some of the retiree people. And that's my issue, is whatever programs that are in place and have been in place and is just gone. The same with all the stuff going on in Texas. And let's add in all the bad weather on top of it in America, on top of political stuff and the immigration stuff and the way the country's falling apart. They're not even maintaining half the country. Like the roads are falling apart. I mean, it just looks bad over there right now. And then add in what's going on with the weather and all them floods that are going through. I mean, what happened in North Carolina recently? They said something just happened again in the Carolinas. There's always something that's coming up right now with the bad weather. So there's a lot to actually consider. I mean,
Right. And also now, again, like I said earlier, that I'm coming out on a limb here, just real quick. This is Jay Sully. I have nothing against Jay Sully. Jay Sully is short for Jake Sully. Now, why is this relevant? It's because Jake Sully is a character in Avatar where he uses some bio-humanoid to pretend that there's somebody else. So let's put that aside. Now we have
Wow, that's a lot.
another gentleman came in here that says that he's Biringan.
Yeah, a lot of these are foreign
Okay,
anyways.
that he's Biringan. Okay, and he's saying that he lives in $300 a month for rent and then $100 a month for food. Okay.
Yeah,
Now-
compared to other countries
right.
on paper.
Now Biringan, just so you guys know, Biringan, stop. Jay Sully, Avatar. Biringan is a mythical elven city. Do you see the connection I'm trying to get here?
Okay.
So Biringan, again, mythical elven city, is talking about this insane price point. And then we have Jay Sully here talking about America, which is fine. The point being is, and not to mention, there haven't been any comments after these.
A lot of those opportunities are disappearing.
So what I'm
Mike.
saying is, odds are these are not credible arguments or statements. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah, possibly more than others, but I still believe they're still going down.
okay, the opportunities are somewhat very limited right now. Remember, Mike. Hey, Mike. This is not what we're accustomed to. It may not affect me. It may not affect you because we're already past that rough stage. Meaning we have to create a groove for
And if
ourselves.
opportunities are the only thing available, but yet your kid is
Well, that's what I'm
unalived in school,
we
what
don't,
difference
we
is
don't
that
have
going to make?
to. Right.
And college isn't going to matter anymore, and all the stuff dealing with people having an opportunity to get all the extra stuff that they used to in the past is all starting to disappear. All the good things that people used to be able to get that deserved it. We're not talking about, like I said, the lazy ones. I'm talking about the scholarships that are being taken away and how they sent a bunch of those foreign students back.
yeah.
And there's so much going on.
And I'm not being anti-government here, but you have to realize that now you have to be blind not to realize that nepotism is now in the country when it comes to positions of whether it's power or management or anything like that. It's not the country that you grew up in.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I grew up in. I mean, I get it.
I mean, I can't disagree with the statement because, yes, if you're sitting here, there of course there are more opportunities. The problem is you're willing to risk it for everything else.
Well, not to mention, it's not what
the danger,
that
the
you
druggies on the street
encounter.
flipping around that
it's
are
not
on
what you experience.
the fentanyl and stuff that may attack you or something.
Right. It's not what I experienced. It's not what Heidi experienced. You know what I'm saying? It's not what we experience.
Like I said, the warning's not to get there. I get in the end, people say, okay, there's X amount, like you mentioned, all the new billionaires. Yeah, a lot of those are already foreign that arrive there. I don't think they're all Americans that are the billionaires. You find they're usually from another country. But it's that they're doing it all online. I wouldn't say it's because they're working at a local place. It's any of their wealth they're getting is generational, or they're making it through investments in cryptos, and being in America probably didn't make that difference. It's just that there's a lot of them there, and they're probably now officially buying their visas to get there. Now they've got the opportunity to buy their way in. So it's a lot going on there. I mean, as far as patriotic, it may not seem that I'm that because I'm in another country. I lived in America for 50-something years. I moved when all the crap got bad for America during COVID and some of the crap that went down there, and that it was cheaper for us to come to my husband's country. But the rest of it, I wouldn't move back to save my life. Literally, I would stay here.
Also, again, first off, I really can't say much about this because first off, I'm not a native. It doesn't matter whether I'm a citizen or not. It has nothing to do with it. The fact is, since I'm not a native,
for an individual, depending
the
on
way as a non-native sees it, and I'm not the only one that sees it this way. I hate to say this, America right now is at a racist stance. And I'm not being mean. I'm not upset. I'm just saying that anybody who's an outsider will see America in a racist stance.
There's a lot going on.
Right.
Skippy or Jif in the Philippines. Yeah, it's about $10 for the big jar. Yeah, if you get the brand names, yes. If not, the peanut butter, in my opinion, tastes like the generics or what's the one that I like? That's the
Skip.
No, the
Peter Pan?
no, the Filipino one that we get. Your favorite Filipino peanut butter.
Libby's?
Yeah, Libby's is the one I like also. But no, peanut butter's expensive. RJF, says I don't think so. Trump is ruining it. I thought he said Trump.
No.
ruining it.
What it is again, I'm not arguing with anybody. R. Jeffrey says again that, and also, I believe somebody says, Raymond Walker says, no, it's not.
Yeah.
America is not an end all.
I did see that where there is something going on at Lake Tahoe. They said they're investigating 100 people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what's up with that? I don't even know.
Oh my God! Why did you have to bring that up?
So what's the deal with that one?
Okay, the problem with that, I'm not agreeing of what happened, but okay, let me explain things to you in a nutshell. If you're a scammer and you scam the mafia, what do you think is going to happen to you? I'm just saying. I'm not going to go deep into the Lake Taal thing, but all I'm saying is...
Are these recent people or they're just finding bones?
No. This is...
I mean...
Oh, that's different. Well, you're reading something else.
I mean, isn't that where they go on vacation or something?
Wait, what are you talking about? Are you talking about Taal?
Yeah.
Okay, again, babe, stop. I mean, you put up something else that's nothing to do. Now,
Yeah.
the Taal thing. Okay, for those who are not aware, in the Taal incident, there's 30 bodies that were found in Lake Taal, and these 29.
Most recently dumped.
All right.
Or they don't know?
No, they're not.
Okay.
They've been dumped like 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay.
this is just...
And again, I don't care how
Enough of
many
it.
you are, if you as a whole scam the mafia, what do you think is going to happen to you? I'm not saying any details because first off, again, this is not the channel, has anything to do with that. Second off, those are all Filipinos.
And that's the least of
Those
it
are all
that's going on,
Filipinos.
you know?
Has nothing to do with expats. But my point being is they did something wrong and they did it to the wrong person. That's all I'm saying. So what do you think is going to happen? That's the
And a
that's
lot
the
of people
nutshell
don't
thing.
even know the deep dark side of America, all this stuff going
Right.
on, like the trafficking and the
yeah.
hooker houses and the drug houses and holding people's passports for 4 years and making them work and little drug mules, and it goes way deeper.
Right. So the tall thing, if remember
Things
the old
just
saying,
get
you're gonna
deeper
sleep
and
with the
darker.
fishes. Yeah, they're sleeping with the fishes. I'm just saying.
Crazy, some of the stuff.
So again, just saying.
And it goes on anywhere in the world too. That's for sure.
Because Heidi did ask me, what's going on with that? Well, let me tell you what happened. And
Yeah,
I'm
like he said, he's probably the cops themselves.
it's like, yep, okay.
Yeah,
never
of course,
mind.
drama definitely sells. Yeah. No, it's not. America is not the end all be all. Well, of course not. So, I mean, I guess it's
Well,
kinda
again,
like
that's a matter of
leading
opinion.
a horse to water,
and like I
it's
said,
better to have some water than not at all because it could just be dripping in another country. But
it's kind of like this.
It is definitely on the decline.
If it's
and
flooding,
the world's talking about it. If this would have been this current president's previous presidential thing, they'd have been like, oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. But the whole goddamn world is talking about Americans. We're a joke now.
well, okay, never mind.
Went too far.
Americans have always been somewhat of a joke to a
Yeah,
lot of
but it got really
foreigners.
crazy recently. I mean, it
Don't
kicked up
don't be upset with me. I'm
50.
just telling you what other foreigners been saying.
Oh yeah, the Americans have been, but what I'm saying now in the last 6 months, it's really getting crazy, and it's because of the different things and the policies and the up and coming
Well,
stuff and our
again, I'm not going to
behaviors.
talk bad against the current government, but point being is the entire world thinks the government is not right. The American government is not right. Again, I'm not talking
Y'all
about
gonna
my
make
personal
me lose
opinion.
my
I'm just saying
mind
what the
up in
world is
here.
saying.
So that it's kind of a mixed bag, you know. What people don't like Americans?
Yeah. And like I said, when it comes to America, just remember, think of it this way. The most simple way to explain it is America's flooding, and the rich people are on top of the mountain, the middle people are in the middle of the mountain, and the poor people are on the bottom of the mountain. Who do you think is gonna cry? And who do you think is gonna go extinct? You get the picture. And again, not my opinion.
Hey, good morning. What? Hey, Doc. Doc is in the house. Haven't seen
Oh,
you
hey
in a
Doc, how are you doing?
while. Trump curse this year. Plane crash. Weather economy now. The beautiful bill.
Big beautiful bill.
Yeah, and it wasn't what I'm still up on that Epstein stuff. That I don't know what's really going. It's got every channel talking about it now. Even TMZ was like, "What's really going on?"
Oh, and just real quick on the Taal thing, don't you guys find it funny, the ones that do follow it? Don't you find it funny that somehow this Boo Boy guy came out alive and the 29 others are dead or unalive? That's a
Are you
little.
talking about this chicken thing?
That's a little
Are you
sus
talking
in
about the
my
chicken
opinion.
thing?
Yes.
Okay, you didn't mention it. You mentioned the whole thing, but you didn't say you have to mention the whole thing, the
Yeah.
Sabong thing
Well,
that's going on here.
nobody mentioned the Sabong thing. Mike says the Taal thing.
Oh, okay.
That's why I
What
said
are
Taal.
the opportunities for workers in the Philippines or Mexico or across the world?
A lot.
Probably about the same as the U.S. A lot of people are going to
a lot more. There's a lot more work opportunities for Filipinos than it is for Americans.
Yeah. So
Because Americans, first off, don't want to fly out of America.
And here's the thing: the good thing is yes, if you apply yourself and do a bunch of things, there are online jobs,
And-
data entry. And,
Well, not to mention, second off, even OFWs, their visa, you are not actually required a visa other than a work visa, which is easy to get for a Filipino in Asia. I'm not talking about in the U.S. I'm talking about in Asia.
very, yeah, very true. I'm a first generation Mexican American living in South Texas, and I am on a limited income myself due employment due to epilepsies and other life disabilities, and life is very hard. You know, I get that compared to the Philippines, there even with the program cuts, there are still way more opportunities than there are here in the Philippines. Like that's something I will talk about is if people go from America to here, you're going to find there aren't a lot of homeless shelters. That they're getting to have more and more programs here, and they're having more like animal shelters and different things for pets that I didn't see a couple years ago. But in general, you're not going to get a bunch of help medically or financially. Like if they give something out, they're giving out like a small sack of rice and a couple cans of what they call the fish or whatever. They have the sardines. In other words, when there's a tragedy, they're not exactly giving out houses and vouchers to go live somewhere. Now, I know they're cutting stuff in the US too, all these different programs that were helping all these victims and stuff. But yeah, that's where I would say that you're going to have a better opportunity is, you know, is in the US. A lot of these programs don't exist in Asia. So you pretty much are standing on your own. So when you're coming over here as a foreigner and then your life goes down the drain because your Filipina scammed you or your bank accounts went bad, it's right here.
Yeah, you took it away.
I took it away because you had it sitting in front of the tablet and you were trying to read through it instead of sitting it somewhere.
So does that mean if I get a can of sardines and attach them to the end of a fishing pole and throw it out, I can catch a Filipino?
Possibly a housekeeper. I'm still looking for a housekeeper.
Snap. We should do that.
Right. Tie 1,000 pesos to the end. Say, I need my house clean. I'm just going to reel it out. It's Thursday. It's market day. Maybe I'll get a housekeeper. Maybe I'll get a new husband. So.
Damn it, King! I told you it's not for you.
Hello, Fan Antics. I made it. Hey, Lack of Spot. What is going on?
Hey, like a spot.
I have not seen Sarah. I haven't listened to. I did
But
check
she's
back on.
probably busy.
Yeah, I know she's been busy. China has been selling cheap stuff for years and are now having factories closing and layoffs. Well, that's because a lot of stuff is also being held up in those countries because of the new tariffs. He's about ready to lay them tariffs. They're getting ready to expire, and he's going to hit other countries with them. And I'm telling you, items are going to go up everywhere. But I think it slowed down because nobody's buying. And things did go up on that. What is that site that we use? Shein? Like where they had like shirts or something, they're like up 1.5 times now or something. So the items are going up. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not paying $15 for that now where it was just $6 a few months ago. So things are going up.
Is that why I can't find fake Nikes anymore?
It's because you're not looking hard enough.
Oh, you need to teach me.
Okay, well.
Teach me, master.
I'm not teaching you nothing. You know, I thought about that cake yesterday. If I had gave you a cup full of sauce that big, was you going to pour that cream sauce,
yes, because
the entire cup?
Yes,
even if it was a pitcher, because I said pour it on there, you would just keep pouring it.
Yeah, of course, because that's normal.
No, it's not.
Yes,
no, it's not.
Yes,
if I say don't,
chat. If somebody gives you not a whole pitcher, which you didn't, and says. And it's sauce.
And I say pour the sauce on there.
Right.
It doesn't mean all of it if it's flooding the cake out. I just meant pour it on there.
It didn't flood it out. It didn't flood it out.
Your judgment
It didn't flood it out.
If I told you don't go in that swimming pool, you go in the swimming pool. I said put on the jacket because it's cold. You didn't put on the jacket. George, you do that all the time. He was a bad kid. Bad kid. I know you were. Yeah. Eat your cake.
No.
And it's not only got raisins in it. It does still have something else.
No.
So you don't like my cake?
Well, if you didn't like put some insinuations with it, I probably would have finished it already. With mango.
Yeah. It's basically a cheesecake that got flavored with raisins and prunes. It's got prunes in it.
Oh, jeez, really? Don't get me wrong, I love prunes, but prunes give me some, side effects.
Everything gives you a side effect.
Yeah, like you.
One in the pink and one in the stink.
Hey, I'm fine with that.
No, you're not.
Well, I'm not quite sure.
Your belly button.
I'm not quite sure if that'll work with me, but okay, now that I think about it.
Down in the hole, just like a pole, right down the middle.
Yeah, but I only have one orifice for that. So.
How much your belly button?
It's not pop.
Okay.
That's really weird.
My family, business owners for 50 years. Very few. That's why the Philippines' major export is people. Yeah, OFW. Yeah, but here's the thing. There are jobs in call centers if they can get stable enough internet. And here's the thing. It's weird. There's this weird balance of wealth here, and there's a weird balance where everybody seems to have the internet now, or the phones, or at least one source of internet in their homes. And if not, they're setting it up because there are other family members working at home and stuff. So there can be, I guess, the same as the U.S., but yes, the OFWs going overseas is their biggest thing. I mean, it's a major export, yeah, but I still think the opportunities, or at least according to what I'm seeing and what the government is saying, they're claiming that, how much was it? 60% of people under the age of 26 have jobs now or something, and I'm like, I don't know about that. That sure seemed like a high amount, but hey there, what is going on? George, that's why they're racist, but colorblind to money.
No, this is fact. That's why.
Yeah, most definitely different in the 70s and 80s.
Our pet groomer is having a hard time keeping employees.
Yeah, That's another thing, is that they do a good job. That's the third time they've come. The first time it was excellent. The second time it was but every time he comes, he has new people. And the last bit I was not happy with. I told George, but I need him because to do it myself with a day's worth of work, it's hard to take care of Mary like that. But he ended up washing her first and then clipping her afterwards. And they came in. They came. Well, that's the burnt part on top. That's just meant. That's meant to be like a crust. So they came in smoking cigarettes. Not a big deal. But they threw the butts on the ground. I guess no big deal. And they left them on the ground. After they clipped the dog, they left most of the hair on the ground and they swept it up into a dustpan that we have outside. Trash can is right there by the gate. And instead of dumping it out, they left the hair in there, and then it rained, and then it washed out all over the place, and then there was wet dog hair. I found it at 7 o'clock at night because I didn't go out there to check afterwards. And they had cotton balls to clean her eyes. They threw them on the ground. There were several of them, which the other dog might have ate, so thank God the other dog didn't eat it. And I don't think they used shampoo. I think they just sprayed her with water, literally.
That we
So
know
these
of,
are
anyway.
Well, yeah, she still smelled like wet dog, and she still had no. Usually, she smelled good the last two times. This time, she had no. Like they didn't use shampoo. It's almost like
Yeah, to clarify, they were never inside. They were outside.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
I didn't.
And then
I mentioned
We
that,
didn't. We didn't check because they usually do a good job, except this time they didn't.
Yeah, even the haircut. Yeah. So usually, I explained in the beginning about doing a super short haircut and taking all the hair around her face, and they didn't. So basically, in another 2 weeks, she'll be back to where she is. And so, but I was just grateful. I mean, I know it doesn't.
What I'm saying is, next time they're gonna clean, we're gonna have to say something.
Well, here's the thing. Like I said, I've gotten used to the trash being on the ground or no, but they've cleaned up the last two times, and I was grateful. I was like, wow, they even cleaned up afterwards, but there's still dog hair everywhere, so I'd have to spray it down. This time, it was a hot mess out there, and we have another dog, and then we have the cats. The boys come in and out of the yard. Yeah. Okay, we're just still checking. We're expecting. And they come in and out of the house, and then they were dragging hair, and I'm like, where's all this dog hair? And then it's because it was all out there. Peanut butter and jelly. That is true. I hear you.
Hasa, which means sharpen. He's a knife sharpener.
Yeah, besides they feed the shark the missing sabong arrows. Yeah, they're doing a full investigation. That's a whole
That's the weird
thing. They dump said unalive bodies in a lake rather than the actual sea, which is kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Well, first off, again, I'm not saying that it's okay to do.
If we're
crime,
talking about the U.S. government, I think it is getting weirder. Not me making the judgment. There are people that have written books. There are people that are on both sides, including Republicans, that said the government's heading to what, an autocracy?
Autocracy, correct.
Okay,
yeah,
so it's just
that's
getting
called
weird.
Gaslighting, and not necessarily
he's putting the people in place that agree with
yes.
him. The people he's hiring, the people and the what do they call those people way up at the Supreme Court? There's nobody telling him no anymore. So he's slowly doing what happened here in the Philippines with the president way back in the day.
That's kind of common sense, though. It's kind of obvious, though.
I hate to say it. I mean, don't take this the wrong way. It's somewhat genius and stupid at the same time. In other words, he's making all the plans to put it in place.
Okay, well, I did mention early on that I even said that he took lessons from said dictators. Well, no, I was specific. I actually said I did actually.
There's a lot going on. It really is. And the
lessons from this specific dictator.
I think the biggest slap in the MAGA's face right now is he clearly stated he was going to release that list until somebody said he was on the list. And then all of a sudden it was like, it does not exist. And they've made every excuse. And now people are just like, oh, okay, what's going on? And everything he promised in that bill, it's far from what it is. It's in there. But like the tax on tips isn't what it's supposed to be, and the overtime so it will all come to a head. And it just depends on how the people handle it. It's one day at a time with that. That's for sure. A president for 6 months, all the problems on his shoulders. No, he did. There is a lot of problems, but here's the thing: he keeps blaming all those problems on the previous president only, and these problems have been going on for a long time. The blame is going in different directions, and he's been in there for 6 months, so I know he's got a lot to clean up, no doubt. No doubt, it was a hot mess the previous presidency. No doubt in my mind, but I think there's a lot more going on. I think this new tariff thing, although it was probably needed, you can't hit everybody at once, and every product in the store is going to go up. I mean, the whole country's got nothing but foreign imports, and these factories opening up and all this stuff. It's just it's
Okay, since we're talking about this, a problem I have with the Epstein files
dun, dun, dun.
is one, the first foremost person that is, yeah, the Epstein files, they need to be released now. All of a sudden, he's like, what files? Point being is he was bought out. And what I'm getting at is there's an obvious cover up. Again, whether you're pro or anti doesn't matter. Point being is if the major guy does a 360, you know what I'm saying? If Che Guevara all of a sudden goes, oh no, the government's right, then there's something wrong. You know what I'm saying? That means somebody paid him off. You know what I'm saying? If the major, revolution guy says, oh wait, oh no problem here, that means he was paid off, and that is a red flag.
What is going on?
And again, doesn't matter whether you're pro or anti. Point being is if somebody's like completely vehemently anti goes pro, there's something wrong somewhere. That's all I'm saying.
And it's happened on several subjects, just not that one.
Well, yes.
I'm going to do this, and that, and then he totally. And I understand reasons it changed, but now it's just getting crazy. But I mean, that's really not going to affect.
Erica Stein says Trump was never on the list. Clinton was.
Mike Miller,
Monica.
51%
Gotta love
agree
Monica.
with the current government, and 49 will disagree. Yeah, it's a split situation. I'm surprised there ain't no civil war going on. There's a lot of states between California and New York.
Patriot for life. Philippines is Trump problem. I blame Obama and Bush before.
Oh, people are going. That's just it. It's
Trump.
Everybody has the right to agree with one side or the other. I think it's getting ridiculous how people are blaming only one side, or blaming it all on the Republicans or all on the Democrats, and in the meanwhile, the president's just doing all this stuff in between, and there's so much going on.
Yeah, and
programs being cut and money being spent and supporting other wars. And as soon as all this tariff stuff is over, and as soon as he just pushed the beautiful bill, give it 60 days and it'll be right back to the war situation again. It'll be right back to where it was. It seems like one issue at a time is being put in front. And as soon as the war thing started, he pushed the bill through. Then they stopped paying attention to the tariffs. And now the tariffs are coming forward. As soon as that passes through, it'll all be back to the war thing again. And then we'll end up in war. And it's just crazy.
Yeah. Kate Dallas says Trump was on the list. That was his best friend. Linda, hey Linda, how you doing? Linda Catalano says Michigan loves Trump. Jim Stewart says, who paid him off? I don't know. I really can't tell you. Patriot for Life says Hillary had him stuffed.
Make sure you guys are looking for your Social Security letters. Yeah, I got 3 different letters. One I had to fill out, took a long time, and the other 2 I had to take my neighbor to sign. Yeah, so you definitely, and you'll get those. You want to sign up for so if you're here, you want to sign up so you can get them by email. Because I've been here and only received 2 of them through the mail, because regular mail is not the best here. So
there's
you got
mail here?
Oh, hush, boy. No, not really. Can you believe 2 bags of sugar and neither of them are coming today?
Well, that's not mail. That's Lazada.
Yeah, freak Lazada. I don't know what's going on with Lazada, but it doesn't take 12 days for something to come from Manila.
It's probably the flooding in Bulacan.
I don't care about their flooding and their personal problems. I want my sugar.
I agree. No. I agree. What I'm saying is,
getting stuff from Manila.
Regardless of what's going on, point being is they are designed to
deliver.
It's
to you.
weird what comes and what doesn't, but yeah, it's because
Rain or shine, that's their problem.
the
Correct, I agree.
sugar that we're using for everything that's a non-sugar but
Right.
natural is I ordered it that far back in both of them. So after a week and I didn't see it moving, I ordered a second one from a different area and neither of them. So now one's 12 days old and one's 8 days old and neither are here. And the last bag I bought was $3, literally for 100 grams. And I'm like, what the freak? So that's how come George has got raisins and prunes on his cheesecake.
Yeah, Erica
How
Stein
that's
says,
sweetened.
"Hey, you guys, you don't even live in the U.S." No, okay. First off, that is somewhat irrelevant.
Yeah, you sound like some of the others. And what? It's where I'm from. Our kids do. You know what's relevant? His parents that are homeowners and citizens.
And you have to remember,
And our kids are there. Our friends are
The
there.
U.S. statements I did say are specific. I said if you are natively born, I was very specific. If you're gonna turn this on me because I'm not, American, I was actually very specific for native-born residents or citizens, as it were.
It could be just everything we're talking about
Point-
American.
right.
But
And
our
then
kids
Heidi
we
was
both
born and
have
raised
children.
And then I even says you do have to remember that it is not the U.S. that
Sisters,
I
brothers,
experienced-
friends.
Or Heidi experience or Mike experience, because it's not. Regardless of you don't even live there. Well, guess what? I lived there when I actually specifically said that I experienced, that Heidi experienced, that Mike
Well, and
experienced.
here's the
What I'm saying
biggest
is
thing that counts. Our
those-
children are still living
Right,
there. We
no,
talk
no,
to
no,
them all
I
the time.
understand that, but I'm talking about
So
point being
what
is
does it matter at that
it's
point?
an irrelevant.
Irrelevant all the
argument.
way around.
That's like saying, oh,
it
you
does.
know-
I mean, we still have things going on there.
Right,
And
when that tank rampage in San Diego, what do you know? You don't live in the U.S. Well, actually, I was there in San Diego when that tank went on a rampage. Point being, it's an irrelevant argument because I was very specific that we were there during that time, and it's not comparable to now. I didn't say now. I said when we were there and when you were there. You know what I'm saying?
Anyway,
yeah, see, that just doesn't make any sense.
Raymond Walker says there's plenty of videos. Trump hanging out with Epstein. Well, again, that's
Well, that's another
You-
thing. Did you guys see the recent one that was a real one, and it showed him at the party with all those women dancing and grabbing their bottoms and squeezing their upper parts and dancing and swaying? And it's when he was married. And all these videos are coming out, and then somebody had put out some other things, and I looked it up. There are documents after documents in the courts right now where women have filed stuff against him.
Whoa.
Like he's actually underage, alleged filings that are saying their ages. I don't even want. There's
Well,
a bunch
what I'm
of
saying
crap out
is,
there
okay.
with what's going
now
on.
here's facts, and I'm not talking about
Yeah, I don't-
allegations.
Yeah, we're going.
I'm
into
not
the
saying
edge.
that Trump did something wrong. I never said that, or Heidi never said that. Is Heidi friends with Epstein? Yeah, sure. And again, that doesn't make him guilty. It doesn't. It has nothing to do with
Did you
it.
just say Heidi's friends with Epstein?
No, I said
Oh.
Trump is.
Oh,
I
I
said
thought-
Heidi said that. I said,
Oh,
but anyway.
yeah.
And however, it's kind of like the same with. Remember Arnold touching the tushies of women?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to party.
Now, do men tend to do that, especially ones with power? Yeah, they do. And do I believe that Trump did that to certain said women? Yeah, I'm sure he did. And again, whether or not it's malicious or not, that's a different story. Because kind of how football players, smack each other's butt cheeks just because. My point being is,
And everybody has a
it
past.
doesn't
We know
make
that.
Trump guilty if he was hanging out with Epstein. That's all I'm saying.
That is true also. Okay,
It has
so
nothing to
let's,
do with it.
I'm going to wind up off this Trump thing. We're 2.5 hours in. I think we're going to wind this up. I don't want to end this with.
Did
getting
you
into
say
the
you're
Trump
gonna wind this
subject.
up?
All right, let's
No,
wind
it's
this
just
up.
time to get off that. It went from talking
Woo!
about the Philippines.
Bring
and
out the
America
Boone's Farm.
problems.
Where's the Boone's
And
Farm?
it is relevant, but when it tilts into the president, it's because it's all in the news
Bring
all
out-
the time
bring out
here.
the
Even
Mad Dog
here, it's in the
2020.
news. So All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up and end this.
Thank you for being here, Vets Vlogs.
So much,
actually,
Vet Vlogs, for all the
no, our
comments.
top fans for today. Number 1, Vets Vlogs is number 1.
On the comments,
Raymond
thank
Walker
you.
is number 2 on the top fans of today. And then,
Isn't it weird how it doesn't give the name of their channel? Yeah. It looks like
Ted.
Iglehart.
Ted, how did Iglehart beat you? Iglehart beat you, man.
Yeah, Black Grandpa number 5.
Yeah.
And Angelo, Jimmy Stewart, Patriot Live. Even
Gio made it.
number
Gio's top
and
8. All right,
Victoria's
Victoria.
number 9. But
Number 9.
But
All right.
thank you guys for the support for
Ted
our
is top
birthday.
11, and Erica Stein is number 10. Thank you so much, guys.
We'll
We
throw
love you
this
all.
Up there
Appreciate
one
you
more
so
time for our
much.
birthday funds. And yes, we're asking for birthday funds.
Yeah, give us some money rather than giving it to Epstein or Trump or what's
Who knows?
what's their name? Jesus Christ, I'm drawing a blank on who these freaking vloggers are. But anyway, yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it so much.
Well, why
We
don't you
love
take
you
your
all.
shirt off and do a dance? Maybe if you wear a bikini, something will happen. George needs more dirty bong water. There it is, guys. Birthday. So yes, George's birthday is here in the next few days, and we will be doing a live on that. I don't know if something comes up, but it might be me doing a live on Saturday, which is Philippine Saturday, Friday for the U.S. I'll let you sleep. Maybe it's time
What
for
the
you to
hell is
sleep
that?
in. What's that? This?
No, the $99 thing
What?
on the corner.
I don't see that.
That.
Oh, it's demo products. He's looking at the QR codes, and that I guess you can put up individual items to sell during
Wait,
the live
it
stream.
says birthday funds. I get that. Why does it say because we're broke?
I said because our retirement plan, because we broke, so we're e-begging flat out. So people
We
can
are?
talk about yes. Did we say we planned right and we got like large 401ks and all that? Hell no.
Just one Bitcoin, guys. Just one Bitcoin. That's all we ask. Just one Bitcoin. Okay, guys. Again, remember, a vlogger actually was begging for one Bitcoin.
No, in their
We're not
description, we
even
can't
joking.
mention. We won't mention who they were.
Yeah,
I
we're
think
not gonna
it's-
mention who they
I'll have
were.
to see if
But-
it's
but
if
point
it's still
being is
in there.
We don't even have a Bitcoin.
They've
link.
got a
We
list
joke
and
about
a
it. It's
link
a joke.
to add Bitcoin to
Yeah,
their
but
channel.
yeah, but a
family
vlogger has a Bitcoin link, and I'm like,
So we
are you
joke
kidding
it
me?
now. Oh, no,
Yeah.
if you guys want to send a Bitcoin, we'll take them. So
Yeah, if you want a Bitcoin, go ahead.
thank you guys so
Love you guys.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank
And
you for
we
spending
will-
this time with us.
Thank you,
Love you
Gio's in
all.
the house, Our Philippine Journey, some of our favorite channels. No, you're not getting any, and I'm not cooking. Linda, thank you so much, so much. Great conversation. No more cake. If you didn't see it, maybe she might have missed it. We did. He did eat more of it. Basically, it's a cheesecake, and I had added honey, and I grinded up raisins and prunes because we have some. Actually, the prunes we got were from California, so we do love them. He just didn't know what the brown was. So it is basically a cheesecake. But it really got weird when the prunes, I guess, because there's still liquid in it, and actually it didn't sweeten bad. So is it sweet enough? So now
No, it's sweet
instead of
enough.
so it tastes like peach. It probably even tastes like mango like.
No, it tastes more like peach.
Okay, so it just looks brown. I was gonna tell George eat my shit.
Damn. Wait, hold on, what?
What's that? You reading Vet's blogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, Filipinos, one of those top 10 immigrants that are welcomed by the United States. Yes, of course. They work hard, they don't complain, and they pay their taxes. Yes, and they are desired immigrants because of the educated. Yeah. Although they claim, on the side note, what they said, there's like 300,000 that are Tago.
TNT.
Right. So basically,
AKA
there is quite a
illegal
few of them
immigrants.
that are not paying their immigration. The Philippines did put out something, and and what do they call that? That's over there in the United States. So the government officials put something out. Hey, you might want to consider going home before you end up in alligator Alcatraz situation.
Okay, just
and
real
so,
quick. Yeah, we don't have time for this one though.
no, let's. So, anyways,
although that just so you guys know, a lot of Filipinos don't mean to be TNTs.
I think a lot of them don't there.
No, the reason why
whether they're
they're
Filipino or
there illegally is because they were literally dumped there by their agency and just
sucker, and then
Yeah, so in other words, they get the work permits, they're there on a 6-month contract, and a lot of those contracts end, and then they don't have a new job to replace
Oh, they
it.
don't even have a contract. They just
A lot of them
the
have
Phil.
to show.
Well, what I'm saying is these Filipinos pay a lot of money to get everything, and then the agency just literally just drops them there. Nothing. No
So
contract. No nothing.
that's a reason.
They get
yeah, a big
scammed.
portion,
Right,
yeah.
so.
So is one reason. So all right, guys,
Bye,
we will
guys.
see you soon, and